So I'll be ready to call on you then when it comes to question time.
Why is that unfortunate, K5BZI?
I don't know what happened with the email. I thought I sent an email. I'm pretty sure I did. So something must have happened between my computer and his, which is why that's unfortunate. KG5, KVJ here.
Dude, you got Ron asking questions. This net's going to be awesome. WZ5DBS.
This net's always awesome, K5BZI.
K5TR from WB5TXW. WB5TXW here.
The time is 1 a.m. UTC, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, and 1 p.m. in the village of Rongorongo on Beirut Island. All regular amateur traffic, please stand by because you're now listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Heard Thursday nights here on the N5OAK repeaters and the KA5B University Link repeater system. We will not have any scheduled pauses for emergency traffic, but we will yield the air to any breaking emergency. With that in mind, please leave room between check-ins and transmissions to allow for any emergency traffic. I'm transmitting tonight from Buda using the 147.32 repeater located at the Y in Oak Hill. You can also reach us via Echo Link by connecting to the KA5B-R or N5OAK-R options in Echo Link. For All-Star access, use node 51444 or 409033. For more information regarding the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, the N5OAK repeater system, and how to become a member, please visit n5oak.org. You can also participate in this net using the University Link repeater system. For more information about the University Link repeater system, please visit ka5b.com. If you're listening through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, please be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. For the University Link repeater system, set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. For club members, we also have our very own Thursday Night Net channel on Discord, so swing by, say hi to folks hanging out there during the net. My name is Garrett, KG5KVJ, and I will be your net controller for this evening. This is a controlled net. Stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment time. If you are a new ham or just new to the net, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net is a social net. We get together every week to share knowledge, ask questions, and hang out. It's very easy to check into this net. In just a bit, I'll ask for check-ins and take down a list of all stations who wish to participate. Once we have everyone checked in, I'll go down the list one at a time and give you the floor. For this net, we'll be using NetLogger. You can look for us, OHARC Thursday Night Net, N5OAK, in NetLogger, and you can follow along as we get everybody checked in. Feel free to ask questions pertaining to ham radio, tell us about something you've been working on, or just say hi. We just want to hear from you. If you missed the first round of check-ins, don't worry. We'll grab you on the next round. Please avoid topics of politics, religion, or anything else potentially inflammatory. Please keep it clean, nice, and appropriate. It's time for a station identification and the opening of the net for check-ins. Please stand by. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using the University Link repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5KVJ, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. So it's time for short-time check-ins. Short-time check-ins means operators who cannot stay for the entire net. I will not take general comments for the short-timers. If you check in as a short-timer and later want to rejoin the net, please feel free to recheck. So if you're busy or kind of busy tonight and still want to check in, come with name and call sign. Come with name and call sign now.
This is Kilo Echo 5 Tango Whiskey.
6 CNC, Whiskey 6, Charlie, November, Charlie.
Kilo 5 Tango Mike Tango, no traffic.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Canton, South Austin, no traffic.
This is NF5Y, South Austin.
Net Control, this is Alpha India 5 Hotel Papa, AI 5 HP, Aaron and Buda, no traffic.
This is Kilo India 5, Yankee Charlie Lima, Rob out in Blanco, no traffic.
This is AI5A, Rick, no traffic.
Short time check-in? Short time check-ins? Any more short time check-ins? Please come now.
This is
Kilo India 5, Kilo Sierra Romeo, Steve out in Bastrop, no traffic.
This is Whiskey 5, Mike Victor Delta, Joshua and Gerald, no traffic.
Any more short time check-ins? If not, we'll just start at the top of the list and go down it and see what everybody's got. So any more short time check-ins? Nothing heard. All right, so we've got the top of the list. Kilo Echo 5 Tango Whiskey, I believe it was. I did not hear no traffic, but I might have missed that. You got anything else, anything to chime in here?
I got no traffic. Just checking in, saying hello to everybody listening in.
Roger that. Appreciate you checking in. Next, we got Whiskey 6, Charlie November Charlie, I believe it was. If that call sign's wrong, please let me know. But I did not put down no traffic. If you got something, please come down.
Meant to say no traffic and it escaped me. So, no, I got nothing. Just saying hello and checking in while I'm getting some work done.
Roger that. Appreciate you checking in. Next on the list was K5TMT. He had no traffic. And KI6HQT, no traffic. Next we had NF5Y. I did not put down no traffic. Do you have anything for us?
Hey, this is in Foxtrot 5Y, Brant, South Austin. Hello, everybody. Just wanted to say hello. It's been a while since I've been on the net, and I regret that. So, I'm just, radio-wise, I'm about to move my radios into my new shack, and once I do that, I'll post pictures and everything. That's probably going to take a month to do, to find time to bury the coax. I'm collecting license plates, so if you have any out-of-state license plates, feel free to hit me up on Discord or otherwise. And hope y'all have a good night in Fox 5Y. Back to net.
Roger that, Brant. Appreciate you checking in. Next on the list here is AI5HP. He had no traffic. And the next after that was KI5 Yankee Lima Tango. I believe that call sign was correct. If it's incorrect, please come back, let me know, and then let us know what you got going on this week. All right. Nothing heard. Next on the list was AI5A. He had no traffic. And then there was KI5KSR, I believe it was, Steve. I missed if you didn't have any traffic or not. If you got something, please come now.
Yeah, it's KI5KSR. No traffic tonight. Got my hands full with some projects here, but we'll be listening in.
Roger that. Apologize for missing the no traffic, but thank you for checking in. And the last one here was Whiskey 5, Mike Victor Delta. Josh, he had no traffic as well. Any more short time check-ins just real quick? Otherwise, we'll just move on to the next segment of the net.
WB5TXW.
KI5 Yankee Lima. Tango is probably me. It's Kilo India 5 Yankee Charlie Lima.
All right, that was a quick little double there, but I had W5TXW. I didn't know if there was no traffic. I missed it because there was a bit of a double, and then there was KI5 Yankee Charlie Lima. Again, I missed if there was no traffic or not. But if you have anything, please come now. WB5TXW.
Yes, please, WB5TXW. Is it okay if I make one call for a quickie over?
Yeah, I guess go ahead with the traffic.
K5TR, are you on this frequency, WB5TXW?
5TR.
I guess not.
5TR,
WB5TXW. Thank you.
WB5TXW, K5TR.
Yeah, K5TR, WB5TXW. I was just on 3-2. Sorry, I made a nuisance out of myself, but I'm trying to get used to CW again. Over.
Did fine. Thanks for checking in.
All right. I have a question. First off, note, my call sign is callsign at ARL.net. I think WWV puts out bulletins at different speeds. If you know of any slow ones, you might send it to some info to WB5TXW at ARL.net. Because it's obvious I need to be listening more than sending. Over.
I'll send you some. K5TR.
Thanks, sir. WB5TXW back to net.
Roger that. Appreciate you checking in with us. And then the next on the list was Kilo India 5 Yankee Charlie Lima KI5 YCL. I did not catch if you had no traffic or not, but if you do have something, please come now.
Yeah, I don't have much, but I did want to mention that I finally got a mobile rig set up in my truck today and had a short conversation with K5TR off of the Johnson City repeater. So yeah, I'm able to go mobile now and branch out from my hotspots that I have in my house. But that's all I got. KI5YCL.
Well, thanks for checking in with us. That's fantastic. You got a mobile rig. Mobile rigs are pretty fun. I got one in my own truck. All right, so the next thing on the list here is, before we get to regular check-ins, we're going to do a review of a question or two from the FCC's current general exam. We've got W5NDS here. So if you've got a technician license, this will give you a sample of what the test is about. If you already passed the general exam, it's always a good thing to review the material. I'm going to pass it over to Rod here, W5NDS, for tonight's question. Take it away, Rod.
All right, Garrett. Good evening. And these are something like these are approximating some of the questions that you will find in the question pool. Question number 1. What is the meaning when a station ends a transmission with QRX? What is the meaning when a station terminates a transmission with QRX? Here is alpha. What class of license do you hold? What class of license do you hold? That's alpha. Bravo. Please move to another frequency. I am claiming this one. Please move to another frequency. I am claiming this one. Charlie, there is a net in progress on this frequency. There is a net in progress on this frequency. Delta, please wait on this frequency until called. Please wait on this frequency until called. Any technician and well, probably not any novice class, but if there are, come and give us your selection. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, or Delta.
KI5CL, I think it's Charlie.
We have Charlie from KI5YCL. Any other selections? Any general class operators out there with a selection?
This is Golf 5 Kilo Victor Juliet. I'm going to guess Delta.
We have one for Delta from Garrett. Any other stations wish to check in?
This is KI5KSR. I think I doubled earlier, but I was going to go with Delta.
All right, Steve, we have you for Delta. Any other guesses? Come now.
BBS, put me down for Bravo, Rod. I'm claiming that is my answer.
Oh, Bravo. All right. We have a Bravo, a Charlie, and 2 Deltas. Any further guesses?
5PZN.
Oh. Ernesto, okay. Your guess is?
Go with Delta. I like the other one. That get out of this frequency. I'm claiming this, but no, I'll go with with Delta.
Yeah, Roger. Okay. So 3 Deltas. Any further guesses? The majority has it. The answer is Delta. Please wait. Finger slipped off the microscope here. Please wait on this frequency until called. W5NDS. I think we're ready for question number 2. Question 2. what is the result of connecting two 12-volt power supplies in parallel? What is the result of connecting two 12-volt power supplies in parallel? Alpha, no diminution in voltage will obtain. No diminution in voltage will obtain. Bravo, more current will become available to power the equipment. More I'm being heckled from the other room here. More current will become available to power the equipment being operated. Delta, the equipment being operated will function more safely. The equipment being operated will function more safely. Delta, all of the above are correct. Now, technician class licensees, your guesses, please.
This is KI5YCL Bravo.
Okay, you go for Bravo. We have one Bravo. Any other technician guesses?
This is 5KSR. I think it's Bravo also.
All right, Steve. Two guesses, two choices for Bravo. Any other technicians voting? General class licensees, come with your selections, please. Over.
This is Kilo Golf 5, Kilo Victor Juliet. I'm going to go with Bravo as well.
Another vote for Bravo. Okay. Any other guesses?
5TXR.
Good evening. Your choices.
Stir the pot, Rod, and I'm going to go for Delta D, all the above.
We have Sammy with Delta. Anyone want to go up against Sammy?
AI 5HP here.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and, well, actually, now you're scaring me going up against Sammy. But I'm gonna go with Bravo as well.
Well, any other guesses?
F5PZN with Bravo.
Well, all of you that selected Bravo are partly correct. But The correct answer is delta, that all of the choices, all of the other three choices are correct. The voltage will remain the same. The more current will be available to power the equipment, which most of you locked in on, and the equipment will operate more safely, Charlie. So all of the above are true and operationally correct. Sorry this took a little longer than anticipated, Garrett, but W5NDS, back to net.
No need to apologize there, Rod. It's always an absolute pleasure to have you on, and I thank you so much for, flying by the seat of your pants on there. For whatever reason, the email did not go through. So at this time, I'm going to do a station ID. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us for the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using the University Link repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5KVJ, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. We're going to pass the mic now to Allie, K5BZI's XYL for tonight's news. Allie, take it away.
Hi, this is Ray, Kilo 5 Bravo Zulu India, station operator here, and I'm going to pass the mic over to my wife, Allie, for tonight's news. Take it away, Allie.
Amateur radio operators continue response to Ian. As Hurricane Ian, now a tropical storm, makes its way across Florida, amateur radio operators continue to provide communication support for weather updates and requests for assistance. The hurricane made landfall at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, September 28, 2022, just south of Tampa, Florida, as a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 150 miles per hour. Millions of residents are without power, and damage was reported as extensive along the storm's initial path. ARRL Director of Emergency Management Josh Johnston, KE5MHV, has been in regular contact with ARRL section managers and section emergency coordinators in Florida and throughout the southwestern U.S. Johnston said ARRL is also in touch with national-level partners, including FEMA and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, should any request for direct emergency communications via amateur radio be needed. Johnston said many ARRL, amateur radio emergency service, volunteers and their groups are involved across Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. Quote, many ARES groups throughout Florida have been in a state of readiness since before the weekend, said Johnston. These amateur radio volunteers are well connected with their state and local emergency management partners in government and non-government organizations. Johnston also said that there are ARES members at the request of the Florida Division of Emergency Management serving in the State Emergency Operations Center. Many ARES groups are also operating in several shelter locations. ARRL has previously deployed ham aid kits in the region. The kits include amateur radio equipment for disaster response when communications equipment is unavailable. W1AW, the Maximum Memorial Station at ARRL's headquarters in Connecticut, has activated its WinLink station to handle PAC-3 and 4 messages on traffic, as well as its share station NCS 310. In our experience, said ARRL, amateur radio's response will continue to play out, sometimes even more significantly, after the storm passes and communities enter a period of recovery, said Johnston. As needs are assessed, such as disruptions to power and communications, or ARRL section leaders and ARES groups may receive additional requests for more activations and deployments. Bobby Graves, KB5HAV, net manager for the Hurricane Watch Net, said the net is now transitioning from receiving weather data to gathering post-storm reports. These reports include damage in areas that are flooded, said Graves. This gives the forecasters additional information they need. Also, since FEMA has an office in the National Hurricane Center, they look over these reports to get a bigger picture of what has happened, which in turn helps them to get help and humanitarian assistance where it is needed. Graves added that the HWN will be assisting with emergency, priority, and any health and welfare traffic. The net may continue operations for days. The HWN will issue an after-action report to detail the number of amateur radio operators who participated on the net. Assistant HWN Net Manager Stan Broadway, NHBHL, said they have been filing reports in September 6, 2022, and over 125 specific reports have been filed to the NHC from stations in the area. We have handled other reports not included in the database for damage in other storm-related situations, said Broadway. One such call involved a relay report of a woman trapped in her home with a collapsed wall in the Fort Myer area. That report was relayed to Lee County Emergency Communications to dispatch a rescue team. The Voice over IP Hurricane Net has been active as well. Director of Operations for the Voice over IP Hurricane Net in ARRL Eastern Massachusetts ARES Section Emergency Coordinator Rob Macedo, KD1CY, said the net will remain active potentially through 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday evening, supporting WX4NHC, the amateur radio station at the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida. WX4NHC will be active through this period for as long as needed. Quick update on the Artemis mission. With the Artemis 1 Space Launch System rocket and Orion spacecraft safety in the vehicle assembly building after rolling back from Launch Pad 39B Monday night, NASA continues to prioritize its employees as Hurricane Ian approaches the Kennedy Space Center area. As part of NASA's hurricane preparedness protocol, a ride-out team will remain in a safe location at Kennedy throughout the storm to monitor center-wide conditions. After the storm passes, they will conduct an assessment of facilities, property, and equipment. Once it is safe for additional employees to return to Kennedy, engineers will expand platforms to establish access to the rocket and spacecraft. Managers will review options on the extent of work that will be conducted with the VAB before returning to the launch pad for identifying the next opportunity for launch. Technicians will swap out batteries on the rocket's flight termination system and retest the system prior to the next launch attempt.
This is K5BZI, and that wraps up the news for tonight. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a bunch there, Ray and Allie. It's always fantastic to hear you on the radio. Next up, we've got Rusty, WZ5BBS, for the Fox News as well as the club and trivia announcements. Take it away, Rusty.
Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate that. I got the trivia announcements right here. For those of you who are new, we've got the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club has a trivia night every Friday here at 9 p.m. We've got 35 players that played last week. We're going to give you the shock of the century. Kent, KI5RBT, came in first in last week's game. Philip, AC5G, coming in second, and Aaron, AI5HP, in the number 3 spot. The elimination round took out everybody pretty much in the second question. Chris, W5CUY, and Joshua, W5MVD, made it all the way to round number 3 and the elimination round. So it was a pretty quick elimination round. As far as the player rankings go, Kent is still the number 1 man, 126,000 points, 57 games played. So there you have it. Anybody can play. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer. We got the bingo game starting up at 8:30, so you got something to do while you're hanging out waiting for the net to begin. It starts picking up about 8:45 too, so come in there and play some bingo. I'll put all the details and a link in the Thursday Night Net Discord channel. To check out player rankings, stats, net logs, or for more information about the Friday Night Trivia Net, head over to n5oak.org and click on the Trivia Net tab. And for official club business, we have one new member. We got Will, KC2ZZR. I totally dig that call sign, KC2ZZR. He is our only new member since our last net. If you would like to join the club, you can do so at n5oak.org. Just go click on the Join tab. While you're there, make sure you click on the Discord button as well. Join us in the Discord. We've got quite the conversation going on, and that's where we all chatter while we're not on the repeater. So go hop on Discord. Now's a great time. We got the welcome team checking it out, and they can get you approved in no time. Our next club meeting is coming up. It'll be at the Howson Branch, HOWSON, the Howson Branch of the Austin Public Library on October 15th. Check out the website, our meeting channel, and Discord for all the details. We would love to see you. It's on Saturday, October 15th. So if you don't have anything going, come out and hang out with us. For fox hunt news, I had a fox. We had 3 foxes last weekend. It was really kind of fun. It's the first time we've had 3. I had a fox going, and Paul, K5FZU, Jeffrey, KI5MVF, and Sky, N5LX, found my fox. Sky, N5LX, he had a fox. Mine was up north, Sky's was down south, and Paul, K5FZU, Mark, K5UMT, and Jeffrey, KI5MVF, found that one. And then we had Philip, AC5G, he put a fox out in East Austin, and Sky, N5LX, Lance, W5KEX, Jeffrey, KI5MVF, Marty, KI5JCN, and John, KE5RS, found that one. And I got to give props to Philip, man, because that was Lance's first one, as well as Marty's, I think, and it was the first time John had found a fox. So everybody was hanging out in East Austin this weekend, and they found Philip's fox. So thanks for everybody that played, and thanks to all our foxes this weekend. It's fun having 3 foxes all over town. If you want to learn about fox hunts, or if you want to be the fox, you can go check out our new fox hunt page over on the website. We got the sign-up form. I've added a bunch of photos over there as well. So if you're interested in wanting to learn about fox hunts, you can check out the website. But most importantly, go hang out over in the Fox Hunt channel on Discord, because that's where all the chatter is. And if you're new, the easiest way to learn is to go do a ride-along with somebody that knows. Ernesto and I have taken people, and it's a lot of fun. You get to meet new club members, and it's a blast. Don't forget, Belton Ham Fest is this Saturday, October 1st, and man, that thing starts at 7 a.m., so y'all better get up. I think Ernesto is going to swing by my house at 6. We're going to make our way there. So, Belton is this Saturday for all you new hams. If you're looking for new gear, old gear, or just like that whole pawn shop flea market feel, it's a great place. Plus, there's a gun show next door. I think we're probably going to meet up and do some other things as well. So, the Oak Hill Club will be there. The Crossroads Ham Radio Club will be there as well. It's always a good turnout, and it's early enough that, you're done by lunch, so you'll have the rest of your Saturday. The DMR repeater has nets on it every night, so if you are interested in DMR, have a DMR radio that you haven't messed off with, go update your code plug, all the information. Guess what? It's over on the website at n5oak.org. Go check out. We've got all kinds of fun DMR nets over there. And the easiest way to stay up to date is to subscribe to the official club calendar. You can do that at n5oak.org as well. Just click on the calendar tab to make that happen. And you can add your birthday to the calendar. I just added Rod's birthday. His birthday is on October 15th, so that's why he's not coming to the meeting. That's all I got, Garrett. Thanks for running the net, man. We'll see you later down the log. KG5 KVJ, WZ5 BBS. I always get that wrong. We'll see you back to net control.
Roger that. Appreciate it, Rusty. Always a pleasure to have you on the radio, and thanks for doing the announcements as well as the Fox News this week. I'm going to do a quick station ID here. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using the University Link repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5KVJ, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. And let Mr. Repeater there, give his ID. I will be looking for regular check-ins shortly. No membership is required. Any licensed operator is welcome to check in. New hams are encouraged to check in. So if you are a new ham, and we would love to hear from you. So if you are a regular check-in that would like to check in, please come with your name and call sign now.
This is regular check-in K5BZI. K5 Tango Radio.
Regular check-ins? Any more regular check-ins? All we've got is 2 so far. So I think there's more out there. Regular check-ins, please come now.
WZ5BBS, Rusty, Northwest Austin.
5PZN, Ernesto, East Austin.
This is Anderson, KI5 and LK in Manchac.
This is KI5 OBD, Scott and Kyle.
Regular check-ins, any more regular check-ins? Otherwise, we're going to start at the top of the list here. Nothing heard, so we're going to start at the top of the list with K5BZI. Ray, how's it going?
Hello, everybody. This is Ray, K5BZI. Thank you, Mr. Garrett, for hosting tonight. Doing a fantastic job as always. And thanks to Rod for the news, or for the question, and my wife for the news. Been a fun thing to listen to tonight. This weekend, definitely Belton Hamfest. I will be there Friday night with the camper, and we'll have a table if anyone has anything that they'd like to try to sell. We'll be doing the parking lot flea market thing, but I recommend you get there pretty dead gum early, because no joke, guys start coming out with flashlights before the sun comes up on Saturday morning. So the sooner you get there, the quicker your stuff will sell. Well, like I say, we'll have a table there with my canopy up and the club banner hanging there. So come find us. What else? Radio-wise, I haven't been doing a whole heck of a lot this week. I pulled the transmission out of my 72 Chevy last Sunday and dropped it off at the transmission shop for a rebuild this week, and the guy texted me today and told me it's ready. So I'll be going down there down to San Antonio on Sunday to pick it up, hopefully in the morning so that I have time to put it in the old truck later that day. Other than that, no radio stuff going on other than getting excited for Belton. And we hope to see everybody out there. Like I say, keep your eyes open for the 86 Chevy camper. We'll be out there with the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club banner on it, and hope to see you. Come stop by and say hi. And again, if you've got anything you want to try to let go of, just throw it on the table there, and we'll see what we can do. Back to that, K5BZI.
Ray, I pulled a couple of transmissions myself. I'm kind of curious. Did you just wrestle that thing out of there, or did you have a transmission jack that kind of helped you out?
So I wrestled it out of there, but here's what I did. The tail end of it. Oh, I just noticed my mic is set way hot because I had it turned up for the wife. There you go. Sorry about you screaming in you guys' ears there. That might be a little better. So the tail end of it hangs on the emergency brake cables. So the emergency brake cables held up the back end of it, And so I unbolted the front end of it and then rolled my creeper up under it and then just pulled until it fell and landed on the creeper. So it wasn't very far of a drop. It was only a few inches till it hit the creeper, and so then I was able to. Then I had to jack the truck up enough to get it out from underneath there. But yeah, getting it out was the easy part. Putting it back in is going to be fun. Stabbed a few myself, and it's not a joyride. So I'm hoping I get it the first time. Knock on wood. K5BZI back to that.
Roger that. Appreciate you coming in here, Ray. Anybody with any comments or questions for Ray? We got K5BZI here. Please come down.
KI5 and OK.
Go ahead, Anderson.
I was just going to say, I do have a transmission jack in my attic that I can get to very easily. I don't ever use it. That's why it's in my attic, but it is yours for the taking if you need it.
Is it something that I can use with the truck sitting on the ground, or do I have to have the truck up on a lift?
It has 4 wheels, little casters. You roll it underneath the truck, and it has a wrench spot where you crank one direction, and it goes up like a scissor lift deal, and down on the other. It has a strap that goes over it, so you wrap around the transmission until you loosen up the transmission, and then you slowly lower it down, and then roll it out from underneath. You might have to lift your truck up a little bit, though, because of the whole, having to jack it up if it was on the creeper, same deal, but it's much easier than manhandling it.
Oh, roger that, dude. I may ping you on Sunday then. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's awesome. I've got a couple scissor jacks, and I'd planned on, like I say, lifting the tail end of over those emergency brake cables to hold the tail end of it up, and then I was going to scissor jack it up. Bottle jack. Sorry, I've got a couple bottle jacks I was going to use to jack it up, but that might be a little easier.
Yeah, it's definitely easier. It's a nice flat, like 1x1 platform with a sort of a curve in the middle to set it down on. I mean, it's not anything super high quality, but it's way easier than manhandling or like trying to like tie 2 jack stands together or something.
Right on, man. You gonna be home on Sunday?
Yeah, I think I should be back by then. My brother-in-law's got a birthday, but I'll bring it by.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, man. I will. I'll text. I think I've got you in my text contacts list. If I don't, I'll reach out to you on Discord. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Appreciate it. K5BZI back to net.
Roger that. Thank you, Anderson. Anybody else with any more traffic for Ray? We got K5BZI here. Just come down. Nothing heard. All right, next on the list is K5TR George. How's it going, George? Take it away.
Very good. Hello, everyone. Not much going on here. Although I was listening briefly to 10 Meters CW earlier, and there seems to be some activities, and the band sound pretty good. But I haven't been on the radio much. I did get on and run the 80 Meter CW net. We had myself and Whiskey 5 Mike Victor Delta from up in Gerald, and K7 Tango Victor Alpha, and WB5TXW all checking in, so that was kind of fun. A little bit noisy on 80, but please join us when you can. It starts at 7:30 or before on 3532 every Thursday night. And see what else. This weekend, I'll be operating a contest. The California QSO party is this weekend, so I'll be looking for Californian stations, and they always have a lot of activity, so I recommend working some Californian stations and finding out all their county names. They have 58 counties, so that's kind of fun. And there's some other things on the air. The Collegiate QSO party, I think, is going on, and a couple of other events, so fun things on the HF radio this weekend, and the conditions sound like they're going to be really good, so fire up those HF radios. Even people with technician licenses can get on, they can get on RCW net, but they can also get on 10 Meter sideband, and that band is opening up, so check it out. So back to net, K5TR.
Roger that, George. Appreciate you checking in. Anybody out there with any questions or comments for George. We got K5TR here. Questions or comments for George? Please come now. Nothing heard. Appreciate you checking in, George. We're going to give you 73s, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Next on the list here is WZ5BBS, Rusty. How's it going, Rusty?
Man, it's been a good week. I have been mostly listening to the radio. The Slacker chats have been fun now that Anderson figured out what that PTT button does. So the Slacker nets have, or the Slacker chats, pardon me, have been a whole lot of fun this week. I've also been listening to the Hurricane nets and the StarNet on Broadcastify, listening to all the crazy stuff, making sure that all the people in Florida are safe. So it's always interesting to see how all that stuff goes down. So mostly just listening to hurricane news and all the craziness going on down in Florida. I'm looking forward to Belton. It's going to be a whole lot of fun seeing all y'all out there. And man, that's pretty much it. Just been working. And I do have the HF antenna up though, so I keep lying to y'all and saying I'm going to do something on it. But maybe we'll have it, this weekend. That's about all I got. And WZ5BBS, back to net control. Oh, and Ray, if Anderson's transmission jack is anything like his radios, it might kill you.
Ray, do you have a comment for that, or Anderson? Just curious. KG5, KBJ.
So, this is K5BZ. Yeah, the only thing I'm concerned about, if it's anything like his radios or his antennas, it just won't have any reach. It won't be tall enough to get the transmission up on the truck.
I make no claims that it's going to keep you alive.
All right, we've got Rusty here, WZ5BBS. Anybody with any questions or comments for Rusty? Nothing heard. Next on the list here is KI5PZN. We got Ernesto. How's it going, Ernesto?
KI5PZN. Hey Garrett, thanks for running the net, and hello to everyone on the net and listening. Working. I've been doing a little bit of radio here and there. I did a little bit of Slacker chat this week. And then HF usually at nighttime. I like to listen to that 80-meter trivia net every night. They have 3 nets back to back, and I like to listen to that one. Let's see. And then, looking forward to Belton. This will be my 3rd one, and, it's always fun to go and see people and meet new people. Let me let it reset. And, other than that, just hanging out here at the house with Enrique. Mireya has to go to Fort Worth to take her dad to a couple of doctor's appointments tomorrow, so she'll be there until Sunday. But here at the house, hanging out with Enrique. We'll get some work done tomorrow, and hopefully a good weekend. But, that's all that's been happening here. I can't even talk. And thanks again for running the net, Garrett. And back to you. This is KI5PZN.
Appreciate the kind words, Ernesto. Always a pleasure. We've got KI5PZN here. Anybody with any questions, comments, or concerns? Gripes, complaints for Ernesto? We got KI5PZN. Please come now with your questions or comments. Nothing heard. All right, Ernesto, thanks for checking in with us. We're going to bid you 73s and roll on down the list to KI5NLK. Anderson, down there in Manchac. Anderson, what else is new with you except for the transmission jack that might kill you? Let us know how it's going.
Yeah, transmission jack might kill you, might not reach. None of these complaints are out of line. KI5NLK, should I use, by the way. But yeah, no, I was on the little Slacker discussion topic thing that's not a net, and heard Rusty say Garrett was running the net, and I said, oh, I had the unholy urge to just get on and talk on the net. So you're the one that drew me back in today. I had excuses ready, and I just couldn't do it with you doing the net. So thanks for doing it. Good questions. The trivia questions from Rod. One of them makes me think of this little Power Wheels thing I'm rebuilding for my daughter because I gotta fix it up from all the neighbors tearing it up. So I was thinking about the question, going, I know the answer to that because I'm over here wiring motors up like that. Let me let it drop. But this weekend I got a birthday party to go to, so I can't go to Belton, so I'm going to be jealous yet again. Every year I'm jealous that everybody else is going, and I've always got something planned, it seems. So if y'all, see something fun, put it on my tab, right? But yeah, that's it from, the radio stuff. Back to you, Garrett.
Anderson, appreciate you checking in. I would say ditch the Power Wheels and then either build a go-kart or talk to Ray. He might have a mini bike that your kids could kill themselves on if he's willing to bring it over to you. But we got KI5 NLK here, Anderson. Anybody got any questions or comments for Anderson?
BBS.
Take it away, Rusty.
Man, so you just get back on the radio and you're just going to tell us that you can't go to Belton? You got to blame it on your kids and birthdays and families and stuff and commitments? That's not like you, man. We'll miss you at Belton, and hopefully we'll get to see you tomorrow on the Slacker Chat at least as a consolation prize, man.
If that's what passes as a consolation prize in your book, I do have a little bit of pity, man, I'm not gonna lie. But it's not actually a birthday party for my kid or kid's friends. It's actually my brother-in-law. It's his birthday. I think he's 30 something, but he didn't want to do the birthday party thing, and we're gonna do it and make him uncomfortable. So that'll be fun.
Oh, you're good at making people uncomfortable. So, happy whatever unbirthday to him, and we'll holler at you tomorrow. WZ5BBS back to net control.
Rusty, anybody else with any questions or comments for Anderson? We got KI5 NLK. Nothing heard. We're going to roll on down to the bottom of the list here. Last but not least, KI5 OBD Scott. Scott, how's it going?
Howdy, Garrett. Howdy, everybody on the net. Real good, thanks. I was really looking forward to Belton, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to skip it this time for a couple of reasons. One being I've blown my ham budget for the next several months at least. I plugged in a new toy last weekend, my first HF amplifier, so that was not cheap. And also, let's see, going to a concert Sunday. Going to see Weird Al with my wife and my brother. So that would just be I like a little downtime during the weekend. So, plus, not a whole lot of downtime because we got chores Saturday Saturday. We have a new freezer being delivered, so we're going to be shuffling freezers and freezer contents, and we're also we just got some cleanup and some rearranging to make room for. I've got two of my adult children are coming in next weekend from California to visit for a week, so we're going to make room for them, and so that's exciting. Let me let it drop. Did have a lot of fun with the new amplifier last weekend. A little learning curve to it, and two main antennas. I got a double bazooka for 40 meters and 15, and then I've got my fan dipole. The double bazooka tunes beautifully. because this amplifier is real finicky. If your SWR is a hair over 1.5, it just won't transmit. It won't. Yeah. So it works beautifully on the double bazooka, but the fan dipole is a little more difficult to get tuned just right. I did manage to get it, make a couple of contacts on 20 meters, but then I worry that I may have damaged my tuner because part of the learning curve. Yeah, a lot of fun there, and yeah, that's about it here. Thanks, Garrett. This is KI5 OBD. Back to net.
Thanks, Scott. It's always a pleasure. I got a whole lot of comments for a lot of stuff you said with, moving stuff around with deep freezers. I had my deep freezer. The thing was on a GFCI outlet. The thing tripped and spoiled everything in the deep freeze. And then your budget, unless you take a second mortgage out on your home, I don't think you've actually ever maxed out your ham radio budget. But anyway, we've got KI5 OBD Scott here. Anybody has any questions or comments for Scott?
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Hey, Scott, I see your burned out tuner and raised you one burned out amplifier.
I'm sorry to hear that. Part of the fun was actually learning how to work this manual tuner, and here's a question for anybody that might know: is it possible to damage just one of those inductors? Because that's what it feels like. It's KI5 OBD.
Well, I'll just say, learning experiences can be expensive sometimes. I don't know the answer to that question, but I would assume the answer is yes. I'll open the floor up if anybody else has the answer for this question.
K5TR.
Go ahead, George.
I think I missed the question, but we can add some insight.
By all means, please.
So what was the question again? It's about your amplifier, but what about the inductor?
I was talking about it feels like I have damaged one of the inductors in my manual tuner. Is that possible?
Well, sure. I mean, I don't know what kind of tuner you have, but yes, you can certainly damage components. What kind of tuner is it?
It's just your basic MFJ VersaTuner 2. Yeah.
It depends a little bit on how it's made, because they have various versions of those. Usually it's two variable capacitors, and then either a variable inductor like a coil that is a continuously variable coil, or the other version they have is like a switched inductance. So they have a coil where you're switching to different taps on an inductor. If it's the kind that has the switch for the taps, it's probably not unless the thing has come unsoldered somehow, it's probably not the tap, but probably the switch contact that has been damaged on that particular selection would be my guess. If it is indeed something on the inductor.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a rotary, a rotary knob to select different inductors. It goes alphabetic A through L, low to high, I think. I had J working. I had it working on that fan dipole on 20 meters Saturday, and then Sunday I could not get it tuned right again. So it's weird. I had it tuned real good one day, and the next day I can't get it tuned. So I don't know. This KI5 OBD. Thanks, George.
Yeah, so I would suggest opening the tuner up and just looking at the components. My guess is that if it's the switch switched inductor, so like you're saying there, that rotary switch, has contacts, and the most likely failure point is that switch. Maybe it's not making contact anymore for that particular position. That's my first guess on failure mode.
Okay, roger that. Yeah, I think the next time I have a couple of free hours, I might just pop that case open and see what I can see. Right on. Thanks a lot. KI5OBD, back to net.
5TXR.
Go ahead.
Hey, Scott, I don't know which one of those Versatune or 2s you have, but if you're running an amp with it, they do have protection in that the one I had it does 300 watts. And if you go over a certain amount, there's a little filament in there that will kind of short out. It's kind of like a little fuse. But also be very careful you don't transmit while turning that lettered inductor, because if you do that, you could damage what George was talking about, the backside of it. So, but you could probably see it if you'd open it up. M5TXR.
Okay, thanks, Sammy. Yeah, appreciate it. KI5OBD.
K5BZI, quick comment, Sammy said.
Go ahead, Ray.
So I just recently acquired a MFJ Deluxe travel tuner. It's like a Versatuner Lite, and it's got the lettered knob for the inductance, and that's news to me. I did not know that you should not transmit while turning that knob. I don't know if I've ever done it, but that's good to know. So gonna lock that away in the old nugget here, and remember not to turn that knob while I'm transmitting. Thanks for that.
Well, my guess is you can probably transmit low power.
Yeah, I'm being real careful about that. I did read the warning.
A lot of them aren't, and if you're transmitting clicking in between, it's a lot to pick up. And,
more than that.
Power on, power off.
So I've been real careful about that. I have forgotten at least once, so it's possible I have damaged something. So, all right, thanks everybody. Maybe I should go to Belton and look for a new tuner. Thanks everybody. KI5OBD.
Wait, you read the manual? What's wrong with you, man?
RTFM, buddy.
Absolutely savage here. All right, we got KI5OBD, Scott. Anybody else with any comments or questions for Scott?
NF5Y.
Go ahead.
I couldn't help but drag this one out even more, but I just had to ask Scott, have you tried to bust any pile-ups with your amp, and does it seem to make any difference? Back to you.
I didn't really. I was a little disappointed last weekend at the amount of traffic out there, the propagation or whatever. I didn't really find any pile-ups. So maybe this weekend, as soon as the contacts I did make, and I don't have the log in front of me, but some of them were pretty distant, and I never had to repeat anything, never had to call more than once. I would call and they'd pick me right up. So, and I know I was putting out pretty close to 300 watts. So, but yeah, next time I get a really intense pile up, I'll see how long it takes to bust through, and I'll let you know. All right, thanks a lot. KI5OBD.
All right, last call for KI5OBD. Any more questions or comments for Scott? Nothing heard, so we are in the middle of regular check-ins. I'm going to do a station ID here. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N508K. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you are using the University Link repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5KVJ, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. So, we're going to go on to our second round of regular check-ins. If you'd like to check into tonight's net, please come to the name and call sign now.
This is KI5MVF, Jeffrey in South Austin.
This is KB5MPJ, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike Papa Juliet, Jason and Buda.
This is AI5HP, going from early check-in to a full check-in, Aaron and Buda.
All right. Regular check-ins. Any more regular check-ins for tonight's net? Please come now. Nothing heard, so we're going to go to the top of the list here with Jeffrey, KI5MVF. How has your week been going?
KI5MVF here. It's been going pretty well. Nothing too crazy. Worked a little bit late today and then came home and hopped straight on the bicycle with a neighbor and rode around a good bit. Enjoying this cooler weather, even at night. We've got lights on the bikes and stuff like that. It was nice just to go pedal around and enjoy the fall that we're getting at night right now. So I just walked in the door and I heard we were doing second round. Radio-wise, not a whole lot going on, other than really looking forward to Field Day. Not Field Day. Belton Ham Fest. Basically heading up there tomorrow. Gonna head up there with Ray and Jason and camp in the camper, and I'm sure he's mentioned that. Beyond that, this past weekend was good fox hunting. Knocked out all three. It was a great time, and I appreciate Rusty hopefully doing the Fox News earlier while I was out. This is KI5MVF. Back to net.
In, Jeffrey, yeah, I was going to ask you, you said, you were riding a bike. I was like, you're going to ride your mini bikes, just ride around town like a little, gangster club or something like that, but apparently not. So we've got KI5MVF here. Jeffrey, anybody got any questions or comments for Jeffrey? Please come down.
BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Jeffrey, I've got a little-ish table. Do you happen to have a fold-out table we can use?
I have a little-ish fold-out table. It's like 2 feet by 4 feet. In theory, I could borrow a bigger one, like a regular folding table from work, but it won't be pretty.
We could put a blanket over it. That'd be cool.
You got the blanket, I got the table.
Sounds like a deal, buddy. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll plan on being around definitely by 1. Is the goal, is to be over there by 1.
I think we can make that work, bro. See you then. K5BZI.
All right. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Jeffrey. We still have Jeffrey here, KI5MVF. Anybody with any comments or questions for Jeffrey, please come now.
BBS.
Go ahead, Rusty.
I just wanted to let everybody know on the Thursday Night Net that Jeffrey has been timing out the repeater quite consistently. That is all.
Consistently? I only know of once in the last week, and pretty sure you did too.
That's more consistent than 0, Jeffrey.
Well, it's on, it's working, I'm keeping it warm, and making sure that it's still working. We'll call it stress testing.
We'll have to change his call sign to KI5NDS. Ouch, sorry.
much burn.
NDS?
Yeah, Rod. Poor Rod. I'm picking on Rod.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Is Rod in here tonight? I'm not heard him. If he's been checked in. If he's listening, hello, Rod. Hope you're enjoying your cookies.
Got pie tonight.
Thanks, Rod. Anyways, I'll give it back to the net. Thanks, guys.
All right. Any more questions or comments for Jeffrey? We got KF5MVF here. Nothing heard. Next on the list is KB5MPJ, Jason, down here in Buda in my backyard. Jason, how you doing?
This is KB5MPJ. Yeah, doing pretty well. Weekend was good. I went swimming down in San Marcos at Sewell Park. Nice clear water down there. Good for a hot day. You know, kind of the last hot days of summer there. Let's see. I started brewing a beer this week. I've been practicing some CW with Lance. We've got a little game that we've been playing on the air to practice CW. And looking forward to Belton tomorrow. Let it drop. Ray, I was going to say, I've got a little table too. I don't know how much table space you need, but I've got a folding table, small one, so I don't know if we need more than one. We probably don't want to take more stuff than we need, but I do have one if we need any extra space. So let me know if you want me to bring it. And that's it. Back to net control.
Oh, Ray, there was a call out there for you, so take it away.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, go ahead. Bring it, Jason. That sounds great. We've got a lot of stuff, so it wouldn't hurt to set it all out. Between my little table, your little table, and Jeffrey's fold out, I think we'll be covered, so that works. And I'm curious, while you're at Sewell, were there guys out there throwing frisbees around? There always are.
We were over by the volleyball courts, so yeah, there was that going on, and yeah, frisbee throwing and all that was going on, and then there was us diving into the water.
So you dove into the San Marcos right there in the park, right? That's I dove in there with my full-on graduation gown on after graduation, and I got pictures of it. I love that park.
Yeah, it's a great park. I'd never been to it, and some friends of mine that I know recommended it, so we went down there, and yeah, it was great. I'll have to go back sometime.
Yeah, I've spent hours studying in that park, and like I say, jumped right in the water with my full gown, cap and gown on at graduation day. So, good memories in that park, man. Thanks for bringing that back. K5BZI back to net.
Well, thanks, Ray. Thanks, Jason. We've got KB5MPJ here, Jason down in Buda. Anybody else with any comments or questions for Jason? Please come now. Nothing heard. So we're going to roll on down the list here to AI5HP, another recheck. So how's it going, Aaron? What you got to add? Please come now.
Hey, this is AI5HP Aaron down in Buda. I just want to give a shout out to you, Garrett, for sounding all well rested and happy running the net tonight. Good job to you. But it kind of makes me wonder, how are you doing for rest and stuff? As far as that goes. But before you answer that, I'll also just add that do a shout out for the Southside Simplex. I actually had, for me, the cool thing on Southside Simplex this week was I was actually able to hear Rod and Sammy, and they were actually able to hear me. So I don't know if that's, I didn't change anything on my setup, but that's probably, maybe we had some good propagation that night, or the lower humidity. Either way, it was really cool, and yeah, back to you.
Well, I appreciate you calling me out a little bit. Yeah, no, Tilly's been doing good. She's not colicky or anything, so she doesn't really keep us up all hours of the night. But she does enjoy her late night snacks from Mom. So that's been a bit of a struggle. And my wife will wake me up, say, hey, change your diaper. But for the most part, I mean, I get a pretty decent night's rest, and the only thing I'm struggling with is late afternoon crash of caffeine, right? So after that, crash of caffeine, then, it's like, it's about, time to listen to the radio and start cracking open some adult beverages. And then by about now, I'm feeling pretty okay-ish after about a cigar. It's not too bad. And, I'm super glad you got to make contact with Rod. It seemed like you were struggling for a little bit there, and I was doing a little bit of relay. But Southside Simplex is absolutely where it's at. It's the toe in the big pond that is HF, because you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants. There is no repeater to rely on for Southside Simplex. Break. So we've got AI5HP here, Aaron, down in Buda, just in my backyard. Anybody with any questions or comments for Aaron, please come now.
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
First of all, shout out to Aaron for plugging Southside Simplex. For those of you listening who might not know, we get together every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. for 2-meter simplex on 146555. And Aaron lives down in Buda, and Rod, who N5NDX, who he's talking about, lives up north of downtown, up off of Airport Boulevard. And just give us an idea there, Aaron, of what your setup is so that folks listening understand that it doesn't take a whole lot to join us on Tuesday night. Tell us about your setup there, man.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I've got a Radio Oddity 20-watt mobile radio that I've got set up inside the house, and it's using an antenna that actually was courtesy of you, Ray. Somebody asked me, hey, what kind of antenna is it? I was like, I don't know, it was a big one. Not to get too technical here, but yeah, I was transmitting on 20 watts, and like I said, typically I was having trouble just hearing or being able to read or copy Sammy and Rod, but I was able to do so Tuesday night, so I'm attributing that without me having changing anything. I'm attributing that to the lower humidity that we've been enjoying this week, AI5HP.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, and that goes to show you that conditions make a big difference. Your antenna is actually not that big. I mean, in fact, I gave it to you because I had upgraded to a bigger one. So yours is only about 8 feet tall. So guys, with an external antenna and an HT, you can join us on Simplex Tuesday night. So come join us. It's an open forum. It's just a RAG 2 session, and it's a good time. So if you've been on the fence about joining us, don't feel like you have to have some sort of big rig. It's FM Simplex. Pretty much any mobile rig or any HT will do it. You're better. You can even. I mean, Aaron started off with his HT with just a whip antenna on the HT and was able to get some relays. So now he just got an external antenna. He's able to make contact with guys on the northern end of town on good propagation nights. So I just wanted to point that out. So thanks, Aaron, for mentioning that, and it was great to hear you on Tuesday, and we'll catch you next Tuesday, man. If not sooner, come out to Belton. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. For me, the big thing is I don't get mosquito bit checking in with everybody by having to stand outside AI5HP.
After that, we've got AI5HP Aaron here. Anybody else with anything else they want to say to Aaron? Please come now. Nothing heard. All right, we're going to do a quick station ID here and open up for a third round of regular check-ins. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're joining us through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using the University Link repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5, KVJ, and I am your net controller for tonight's net. So, here's our third round of regular check-ins. Anybody else would like to check in, please come now.
This is KI5YCL, changing to a regular check-in.
This is Whiskey 5, Golf Charlie Hotel, Ron and Driftwood.
Regular check-ins, please come now. We've got two. We've got KI5YCL and W5GCH. Regular check-ins, please come now.
This is KI5WSU, Ed in Martinsville.
All right, we've got KI5WSU, all right, and we're going to go back to the top of the list here because there was quite a bit of a pause in there. So starting off with Kilo India 5, Yankee Charlie Lima. What else you got for us?
Oh, not much. I just wanted to say hi to everybody. I'm relatively new here, so I've talked to a few of y'all, but for those that I haven't talked to, my name's Rob. I live out in Blanco. Just wanted to really say hi. I work from home, so I'm actually monitoring the Austin Metro DMR channel as well as the N5OAK All-Star link most of the day if I'm not on phone calls. So I'm gonna try to make more of an effort to speak up when I hear y'all during the day. KI5YCL, back to the net.
Roger that, Rob. Appreciate you rechecking with us. Anybody with any questions or comments for Rob? We got KI5YCL here.
K5BZI?
Go ahead, Ray.
Hey, man, I just want to say hi from here in South Austin. You sounded good coming into the Oak from Blanco. I assume you're coming in on the 250 machine. That's pretty cool, and glad to have you on the net.
Thank you. Yeah, no, actually right now I'm coming in through a All-Star hotspot that I set up at my house. But I was actually coming into City repeater earlier on a new mobile rig that I just put in my truck today. So now I'm not tethered to my house. I can talk when I'm out and about.
Oh, okay, Roger. Yeah, well, you sounded good, man, and thanks for joining us. It's good to hear from you. I'll be listening for you. I work from home as well, so about half the time I'm actually working in the shack. So I'll just throw a call out there once in a while and see maybe if we can't chit chat during the day sometime. K5BZI.
Sounds good. I'll be listening for it. KI5YCL. Back to net.
Thanks, Rob. Anybody else with any questions or comments for KI5YCL here? Nothing heard. Thanks for checking in again with us, Rob. We're going to move down the list to Ron, W5GCH. How's it going, Ron?
Well, good evening, Garrett, and everybody out there on the net. Checking in a little bit late this evening, but thought I would go ahead and give a holler here. And anyway, I've been kind of busy around the house doing this kitchen restoration, or not a remodeling project anyway, and working on that. And then during all that, I had our well go out on us and had to have well service people called out here to pull the pump on the well, and so that's always fun and expensive. And so we got that going again. And anyway, doing a little bit of traveling and So I've been kind of away from the group for a while. Anyway, not much else going on with radio work here. I'll give it back to you in that control there, and this is W5GCH.
Hey Ron, I'm always glad to hear you on the net. I think last time I ran it, you were checking from Echolink in Tennessee. But you said you had your pump pulled. It brings up a question now because Texas is in a drought. Are you going to have to drill further down to get a deeper well there for your pump to work, or what is it regular maintenance, or what's going on with that?
Well, in our case, the pump just stopped pumping water, and so I called the Aquifer District out here, and they said I had a good water table here. It should be plenty pumping water, so called the well service people out. And as it turns out, the 240 volt power cable going down to the pump got abraded and actually ate through the wire in two, and so the pump was no longer getting power. So you had to pull the pump up out of 380 feet from in our location anyway, and find all that out. But the pump was working fine, but since it was 36 years old, it's exceeded its lifespan. It was time to replace it also. So that's what we had to go through. Yeah, back to net control.
Roger that. Appreciate the information. We got Ron here at W5GCH. Anybody with any questions or comments for Ron?
BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Rod, the pump is at the bottom of the well, or you said the pump was at 380 feet down? I thought that's interesting. Is that how it works?
That's correct. Yeah, you drill the well down to a certain depth, and then in our case was 400 feet, and the pump is set at the bottom of a 1 1/4 inch pipe going down in the ground. It's on the end of the pipe, so it's easier to pump the water up the pipe than it is to suck it. So that's how that works. And in order to check out the pump, you have to pull the whole thing out, and in our case, there's 19 pieces of 20-foot sections of pipe that you have to pull up and unscrew and disassemble, and until you get down to the pump, and then you can put a new one on. So you put it all back together, and since it was installed in 1986, all the unions between the pieces of pipe were galvanized steel, and they're corroding and getting bad, and so all that was replaced with stainless steel couplings now, and so it should last a lot longer. But the wire apparently abrades on the couplings, and there's a lot of torque on a motor when it turns on and off at the end of a long length of pipe like that, and it kind of moves the wire around, and after 30 years or more, it finally wears in two. So anyway, that's what I had to deal with. W5GCH, back to net control.
Wow, so you had 380 feet of pipe down there and 380 feet of 220 Romex, for lack of any better word, and they pulled it all out and then replaced the couplings with stainless couplings and replaced all the quote unquote Romex, I guess, whatever they use. I'm just spitballing here, but that's fascinating, my friend. That's cool. Thanks for sharing. I always just assumed that the pump was at the top. That's fascinating stuff. Thank you so much. K5BCI, back to net.
Well, I will add here too that the cable going down is a special waterproof cable, and of course when it abrades through, it exposes the bare wires on the inside of the wire, and that's not a good thing either. And so it was all replaced with double jacketed wire this time, and hopefully it has a little bit more abrasion resistance to it. But 36 years, they can't complain about that, so that's got by pretty decently. Yep, that's about all I have. W5GCH, back to net control.
Did they give you any idea what the expected life is on the new install? You got 36 years out of steel couplings and that's why I was saying, quote unquote Romex. I knew it had to be something better than that, but I'm curious if they gave you any sort of life expectancy on the new installation.
Okay, life expectancy is really based on the pump itself, and I was told that after about 15 years you can expect a failure on the pump, but we got double that, so everybody I talked to says we got fantastic life out of ours, so I'm happy about that.
Well, that's cool, man. I would, just in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, maybe the water quality, being that you're sitting on top of the aquifer, might have helped that pump last a long time. Maybe, I don't know, but that's interesting stuff, man. So yeah, thanks for sharing it. Thanks for the extra info there. I appreciate it. I had no idea that the pump is at the bottom of those wells. All right, I'll let you have it back there, Garrett. K5BZI.
Appreciate it, Ray and Ron. We've got W5GCH here. Anybody else with any questions or comments for Ron?
K5WSU.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, with going back with your pipe, was there any consideration to using like an ABS continuous pipe, or did you go back with PVC with couplings and such?
Well, there was no suggestion to go with continuous length pipe. They just bring in a truck with a boom on it, and they have a device that fits around each coupling as it comes up, and they pull it up in the air. And you have to understand, when you have a length of a pipe that deep in the ground with a pump on the end of it, it gets pretty heavy, and you can't pull it out by hand. You have to have a winch on it to pull it up. So, no, it was put back together with screwed together couplings on PVC threaded pipe. W5GCH.
Roger that. Yeah, mine's about 75 foot deep, and it obviously doesn't get that deep, but I've done some kind of in the HVAC world, some geothermals that go down pretty deep, and we use a lot of that ABS. Don't have to worry about any failure points in the couplings.
Okay. Did you say that 380 feet is PVC pipe with stainless steel couplings on it? Okay? Say that again.
That's affirmative, Roger. W5GCH.
Wow, so they go all the way down there with PVC pipe and then put stainless steel couplings on the ends. So, is it like super thick-walled PVC or what?
It's, I think, a regular schedule 40 pipe.
Really? Man, I'm learning so much tonight. All right, I'll let you have it back, Garrett.
All right, well, that's, I was just kind of curious about that. This is KI5WSU, back to net.
Appreciate it, y'all. We got W5GCH here. Any last questions or comments for Ron? Just come now. Well, nothing heard. So next on the list is KI5WSU. Ed, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, just kind of hanging out, watching the good stars tonight, enjoying this awesome weather. I guess my biggest thing, radio-wise, is still trying to figure out how to get through the firewall of my truck without doing any damage. I kind of got to temporarily run through the side doors, so I'll be working on that tomorrow when it's nice and cool. Aside from that, got a little birthday party coming up, and I think that's about it for me. Back to net.
Roger that. I appreciate it. I don't know what gauge of cable you're running through that firewall, but what I've found is typically I will grab a grommet that is existing for, like, the brake pedal, or because I drive stick shift, a clutch pedal, and I will, run something else, that there's already a pre-existing hole, there's a grommet that's already filling it, and I will run my cable through it if you're trying to do a mobile setup there. But again, it depends on the gauge of wire you're trying to run. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you see some of that in your truck, or is that stuff for you to think on?
Yeah, it's an 08 Silverado. I've got a couple spots I've been eyeballing, but they got some existing wires through there. I'm just a little paranoid about stabbing a hole through a grommet and screwing something else up.
Well, in my experience, you ain't gonna screw nothing else up, and if you're that concerned about it, you just get some of that RTV gasket maker, or some silicone caulk, and you can kind of caulk it up pretty okay to make it so it's not so cold. You're not gonna have a breeze blowing through there when you're driving down the road.
Yeah, roger that. Some of these I've been eyeballing, have quite a few wires, and just kind of afraid of clipping one, stripping one, something like that. But no, I'll get through it. It's I'm fairly kind of new to this. I've only had my radio in about 3 weeks now, and it seems to be working well. So it's fixing to be a permanent part of the truck.
Roger that. Appreciate you checking in. We've got KI5 Whiskey Sierra Uniform Ed here. Anybody have any questions or comments for Ed? Please come now.
K5BZI. I'm the guy that's gonna monopolize the airways tonight. Sorry, Gary.
Go ahead, Ray.
There are those nights, you guys. It happens. Sometimes it just happens where you have a comment for everybody. Hey, man, I just want to throw this out there just for grins. I had a car once that I installed a radio in, and I was able to, on the passenger side, I was able to come out under the hood next to the fender, the passenger side fender, and go between where the fender and the door connect, and make that jump from the engine compartment to the door jamb through just around like the post where the windshield comes down. I was able to jump between there, and if you looked at my car from the side, you knew what you were looking for. You could actually see a little piece of cable going in that seam between the fender and the door. But I was able to make that jump from the engine compartment to the interior of the car by jumping around there. So you might eyeball that part of the truck and see if maybe there's a way around that way.
Yeah, I got real close on that. It's actually an 08 Silverado pickup, and man, I got real close to going through the rubber grommet that has all the electronic controls going through the door. That might be a valid option as well.
Yep, roger, man. Back to net, K5BZI.
Well, thanks, Ed and Ray. We've got Kilo India 5 Whiskey Sierra Uniform here. Anybody else with any comments for Ed? Just come now.
Yeah, 5 and okay. So technically I missed what he said for a second there, but I heard what Ray said, and it made me think about something. But it sounded like he said he was installing a radio in a 2008 Silverado, and I have a 2010 Tahoe, and the best way I found to get wires from, engine compartment and stuff like that, antennas and things like that, was that rubber boot right in the middle, where all the electronics go through, and I was kind of nervous about putting, an antenna wire through there that was, charged up with juice, but the way I got everything through there was just a really greased up, I put a bunch of lithium grease on it and just stuck a chopstick type thing through there, and then pulled back through and got all my cables all run through there, and it was nice and tight once I was done.
Okay, yeah, these are basically the same vehicle then, and the one that I've been looking at is the one that has the main wiring harness through it, and that was my thought exactly, is just getting along piece of wood and taping a string to it to get it through anyway, and then pull the rest as needed.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, but you do have to peel some tape away, and it does it curves in and then it pops back out, so there's two different, lips to get past.
So that's kind of a double grommet kind of thing through the firewall, is that right?
Yeah, it rolls over on itself, so there's two separate spots where you got to go through there, and whatever you use, you don't want it to be sharp or blunt. There's a ton of not really protected wires in there. Once you get hidden underneath that grommet, there's nothing protected, anything, but so use something soft and not no sharp edges or whatever.
Yeah, roger that. That's my initial fear. All right, man. Well, I really appreciate the info, and I'm going to look a little deeper into that. Thank you very much. Back to net.
Roger that. Thank you, Ed. I'm going to do one last call for questions or comments for Kilo India 5 Whiskey Sierra uniform. Please come now. And nothing heard. All right, so we're going to do a station ID, and we're going to do round four of general check-ins with this station ID. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. If you're just joining us for the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8 Hertz. If you're using the University Link repeater system, please set your tone to 97.4 Hertz. My name is Garrett, KG5, KVJ, and I'm your net controller for tonight's net. So we're doing a fourth round of general check-ins. Anybody else that would like to check in, please come now. And the repeater dropped, so that looks like we're going to wrap up the net here. Before I close the net, I'm going to read to you a list of local nets that you can stay radioactive throughout the week. We have, on Mondays, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's 6-meter Monday night net, hosted by Rick, AI5A, on 50.125 megahertz, upper sideband at 8 p.m. On Tuesdays, we have the Oak Hill Southside Simplex net, hosted by Ray, K5BZI, on 146.555 at 8 p.m. This is a very fun net where you can kind of dip your toes if you're a technician class license. You can dip your toes into the not the HF, but the HF lifestyle, I suppose, where you kind of fly by the seat of your pants and just whoever can hear you can hear you. We also have on Tuesdays the DMR Soundcheck net, hosted by George, W5 Juliet Delta X-Ray, and Tommy, November 5 Zulu November Oscar, on the 441.300 repeater at 8 p.m. On Wednesdays is the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Night Net, hosted by Matthew, KN4 LRA, fantastic net control operator, I might add, on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system at 8 p.m. On Thursdays is the Oak Hill CW Net, hosted by Pat, W5WTH, on 35.32 megahertz at 7:30 p.m. just before this net. There's also the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net, the one you listen to right now, hosted by a different net control operator every week. The N5OAK repeater system and University Link repeater system at 8 p.m. On Fridays is the Oak Hill Friday Night Trivia Net, hosted by Rusty, WZ5BBS. This is on the Oak Hill repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 9 p.m. A little bit, it's an hour later than the normal nets. And on Saturdays, we have the Austin Amateur Radio Club's Elmer Net, hosted by Jeff, November 5 Mike November Whiskey, at 146.940 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. Also on Saturdays is the 220 megahertz guy's Original Preservation Net, hosted by Steve. Kilo Bravo 9, Delta Sierra Quebec at 224.100 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m. On Sundays, we have the Austin Amateur Radio Club's 10-meter net, hosted by Rod, W5, NDS, on the 28.410 megahertz frequency upper sideband at 3 p.m. There's also the Travis County Aries Weekly Net on 147.360 repeater at 7 p.m. The Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, and Maria, KI5SYX, which utilizes the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system at 7:30 p.m. And lastly, there's the Austin Amateur Radio Club's Swap Net, hosted by Jeff. November 5, Mike November Whiskey on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m. Thank you for joining us for the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, a service of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're right here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. We're a non-profit based in Austin, Texas. For more information, please visit n5oak.org, where you can read about the club, sign up for our email list, or donate to support the continued growth of Amateur Radio Club. You might also consider joining our Discord group, where we stay in touch and when we are not on the radio. We would also like to thank Kyle, KA5B, for linking the University Link repeater system to this net. I'm Garrett, KG5, KVJ, and from my QTH here in Buda, Texas, 73, and thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. This system is now returned to regular amateur use.
Great net, Garrett. Fantastic job. WZ5BBS.
Roger that, man. Good job, buddy. Love it. K5BZI.
Thanks a bunch, y'all. It's always fun.
I didn't hear the disclaimer of how the net could be recorded and disseminated by anybody at all. N5TXR.
Smack! 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 Smack that dead horse! Smack it!
The disclaimer has been put on the website. If you go look at any of our nets on the web, it tells you exactly where you can listen to not only tonight's net, but previous nets that are recorded right here on YouTube.
Does it also tell you where you can go if you don't like it?
I gave him your email address.
Good job there, Garrett.
I second that. KI5 and OK.
You guys are too much fun. I think I'm going to like it here. K5WSU.
Just remember, if you don't like it here, there's something wrong with you, not us.
Roger, roger.
I second the motion. KC3, NAG.
Oh, we got a late check-in, Garrett. We got a late check-in.
I was actually about to call him out on that. That's terrible. Like, you just waited to the very end when we were just like kind of rag chewing to check in. I'll throw you in the net logger, and I forward it. It goes nowhere, but appreciate you checking in there, KC3 NAG.
Oh, no worries. I wasn't checking in. I was just lurking.
You better watch out. Lurker's got to donate $25 to the club, Randy. So I'm gonna go look at there and make sure you make that happen, dude. PayPal is your friend.
Lurking, lurking, lurking. Keep those turkeys clerking.
I'll have Ray get right on it. Thanks a lot.
To relay, check in for KC3 NAG, please. He's a lurker.
I've already got him in the log here. I mean, the very bottom, like number 25. KG5, KVJ here.
No, I meant Ray was going to pay the $25 fee.
Put it on my tab, man. Put it on my. Hey, I'm the treasurer. Oh yeah. Touche, brother.
Duh. All right, KC3 Energy. Back to that.
Man, totally missing that because net control's been totally dissolved. I mean, I am no longer net control. We're just here to react to it now. KT5, KVJ.
Well, technically, I want a net logger and it's not closed yet, so don't forget to close net logger, man. You'll get in trouble. Those guys they get mad if you don't.
No, I do. It's been too soon yet.
Oh, so I don't have to pay the $25 after all.
Oh, I'll send you a bill, Randy. Don't worry.
This is just like Hollywood, where they say it's not about the party, it's the after party. In this case, it's not about the net, it's the after net.
You should join us on Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights after 11 get a little wild. KI5 from VF.
Ray would just rein in his my way or the highway attitude, we'd all be better off.
Was that Jake I heard? Jake, come back. I heard that was static. I heard there. I think.
He's got to stop eating those suppositories. He's starting to sound like Sammy.
Hey, Randy, we gonna see you out at Belton this weekend, Bo?
Yeah, man. Use your telescope. I'll be right here.
Hey, man, I'm gonna be out there. We're going out Friday night and camping, so come out Saturday and come say hi again.
Nah, I think I'll pass.
Oh, man. All right. Well, all right. My loss, I guess.
Yeah, but
what's going on there?
You know, the nice thing is the gun show's right next door. Ooh la!
There's a tractor pull happening somewhere in town, not far away either. Afterwards, as well. Thinking about trying to jump over to that afterwards.
Hey, OBD, are you gonna come out, man? I'm gonna bring some Kahlua.
Phone.
I can't. We're going to see Weird Al Sunday night, and yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. I got chores. We got a freezer coming, and so we got to do the freezer transfer thing, and we got kids coming from California next weekend, so we got to make room for them, which is not easy in this place. So. Yeah, and like I said, I blew through my budget when I bought that amp. Yeah, it was worth it though, and Rusty's right. I've earned it. KI5 OBD.
OBD, did you say which model number is your MFJ tuner?
It is the RM Italy DLA 350 Plus. HF linear amplifier. Says so on the label.
Very cool. Well, I was asking about the tuner.
Oh, the tuner, excuse me. It is the MFJ 941E.
Let's see, 941E. That looks like the old shunt cap one that they used to make. Oh, that one, I'm not sure about, but I was thinking it was with the 286 or 260, whatever that, the bigger Versa tuner. That one may be shot cap tuner. I don't know. I'd have to open it up and look.
That's what she said. I'll open up and have a look at. When I get a chance to crack the case on that, I'll post a picture. KFI WBD.
So when you open it up, the transmitter, then the one with the lettered dial, then the antenna match, right? So you should see along, like what George was talking about, air cap for the transmitter and one for the antenna, and then the function switch will be like wafer switch that has all those different little legs sticking off of it, and when you turn that dial, it locks into one of those legs. So if you had it on that band, on that number, and you worked it before, and it's not working right now, if you're not too far off that frequency that you were on, then there may be something in there that's precluding it from letting it go all the way through.
Okay, well, we'll get to the bottom of it. Did you mention a bumpkin switch? Did I hear that right? KFI WBD.
I don't know. Maybe that's a function. I don't know. The middle one is just assigns the inductor link, and the transmitter and the antenna. On older models, it would say transmitter matching and antenna matching, and you can go back and forth. It doesn't matter which one you do. I always do transmitter first, and then go back and forth until I get it down to where I want it. And that 300 watt rating on there is CW or an AM or FM or whatever continuous signal. So if you're doing 250, 300, 350 even PEP, you won't damage it that way.
Okay, what about sideband?
That's what I'm talking about, PEP, where there's no carrier.
Roger, roger.
Did you buy that new?
KB5MPJ still lurking.
KI5MVF lurking.
KVJ still here.
KC3NAG lurking.
KFI WBD. Yeah, now y'all got me. I'm wanting to dig into this thing now. I'm gonna have to carve it. Maybe Sunday during the day. I can carve out a couple hours. Yeah. I want to see what I can see in there. KFI WBD.
The reason I said that about not to transmit while you're turning the switch, especially with the carrier, CW or AM or FM, especially if you're running a little bit of power, it could develop an arc in there, while you're transmitting and you're turning it, and it could short two of them together.
Yeah, that sounds like what the manual warned me about. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. That's probably what I did. KFI WBD.
If you bought it new, just send it back and tell them, hey, that's not the one I ordered. I want the 969 that does 6-meter.
I love the way this guy works.
K5BZA. MFJ doesn't have any QC anyway. They'll just ship you another one.
Helps if you can speak Mississippian. That's the one I had for a long time, and I bought it because it has 6 meter on it. And it doesn't have the switch like yours has. It has the numbered inductor, and the way it does it is it sets a set of numbers for each band, in the middle of that band, and then you can go from there. Well, on that model, the main inductor the one that you use to set the number for and dial to it, it has a secondary set of inductors in there that they built this little flip over switch type little plate. And when you go to a certain point, it has to switch over to that other one to make it work, to make the inductors act as one. Well, when they sent it to me, I guess they shipped it upside down or whatever. And that flap had flopped all the way over, and it wasn't working. And when I first got it, I thought, well, it was just crap. And I got in there and looked around. It wasn't hard to get in there. And you can see that flap had been knocked over all the way inverted so it wouldn't work as it was intended to.
What does MFJ stand for again, Sammy?
My father's junk.
Manufactured junk?
The old timers say mighty fine junk. But made in America, by God.
Sammy, you are absolutely my favorite by far. KG5, KBJ here.
Well, thank you, but I'm not sure. I guess you're talking about me being animated. When you get to a certain age, you don't give a damn anymore. And you just, be yourself. Like Ray. But the MFJ stuff, it's good to a certain point, but, it's an antenna tuner, so. But I am real curious, Scott, about that app. I've always had a spot in my mind that wanted to buy one of those. And I'm really curious to see how it will do on sideband and how much it will peak. I'm thinking it'll do more than that on PDP if you drive it just right. And I haven't known anybody really that had one.
It seems real sensitive. In fact, it will give me overpower. It's supposed to take input power 10 to 12 watts. And I'm having to dial it down to 8 watts just so it won't kick into overpowered warnings. So I don't know what's up with that, but I know the thing works if I can get my antenna tuned just right. K5OBD.
Well, 8 watts is in the range. They give you a maximum so you don't overdrive it. And I would say anywhere from 5, which is the lowest you can go on most radios now. 5 to 8 to 10 ought to be good enough. But if it's giving you an overload when you're at 10 watts, your radio may be doing more than that 10 watts that you think it's doing. You got several meters there that are giving you readings. so it could be a little bit too hot. And I just run it where it's comfortable, and we can get on 80 or something, or 40 or something, and you can check it out, running it. I'd just try 5 watts input and see if we could push it to, 350 PEP.
For the record, I noticed the same thing with my Yaesu, my big Yaesu amp. Like, it was rated at like 10 watts input, and I realized that if I pushed it at 10, it would just throw that warning every time, and so I just backed back to like 6. And it was happy. So it was just like, I just worked it until I got it to max output, and just that's where I worked. And if it was, this amplifier is rated at like 600 watts, and I was getting like 550, and I'm like, all right, if I went any higher, it would throw that warning. But I was happy with that, that less than 50 watts, right? Because I knew that I wasn't overdriving it.
Yep, don't want to overdrive it, and it won't let me. I've read that this amp is notoriously finicky, too much so for some people. But I know I tried some. I did try some SSTV with it, and with that, just sending out a continuous signal, I was able to get it started at 8. But the lower your input wattage, your output's a little lower too. So I was able to start at 8, and as it was transmitting, I was notching it up, and it was okay with it all the way up to 12, I think. And at 12, it was peaking a little over 300. So that was fun.
But then if you try to key it with that 12 watts, it would throw the alarm, right? Yeah. I had the same issue with my Yaesu amp, and I just kind of had to learn where that sweet spot was.
We're all talking about carrier power and versus PEP power. It might just work fine on 12 watts PEP into it.
Yeah, Roger. Well, it was a learning curve. Like I said, I just got to work with it last weekend, so I'm just getting started. And yes, definite learning curve. But and I say it's fun though. I had fun getting this thing working, and I never got discouraged. I knew this thing would work if I could get it. If I was just patient and worked with it, and yes, it does work, and it gets out there. So lots of fun. That's what it's about. It's Cat5OBD.
Well, let me ask you a question. How have you got it running? If you're running radio to tuner to amp, radio to amp to tuner, which way you got it?
Radio to amp to tuner to antenna.
Meters or nothing?
Again?
No other outboard meters in line?
No other inline meters. Yeah, I got the meter on the tuner, and I got the watt meter, and got plenty of. Yeah, I can tell what's going on. It's Cat5OBD.
Just for grands, look it up on that particular app and see which way it likes it better. Because if you're going from your radio to your tuner, and then, or vice versa, it's on the amp to the tuner, vice versa. There's, some of them want it one way, some want it the other. But if you can tune, I would just do a test and just to see, just go straight into your tuner, and tune without the amp in line on those frequencies that you enjoy, and see what you can get just by itself using that tuner. And then when you put the amp back in line, see how much difference there is.
All right, I can try that. It's just, gosh, I wish I got so much going on this weekend. I'm not going to be able to spend a lot of time on this. But there's other weekend. Well, the weekend after that, the kids will be here. So maybe by sometime mid-October. I want to play with this and I get what you mean. Just bypass the amp altogether and take some metrics from that, and then plug the amp in and see what the difference is. I bought that 40-meter double bazooka because you recommended it, and thank you, sir. That antenna is beautiful. It's noisy down there, but it tunes almost perfect. K5OBD.
Real quick. Yep. And the 80-meter one's even better. I was doing some experimenting here. Like, I had sent my 850 off to get repaired, and when I got back, I was checking everything, see if they did the repairs and everything. But that's another story. But with the 80-meter double bazooka, not only can I tune 80 flat, but you can do pretty much everything else except 40. I can get flat on 15. I can get 1.4 on 17, about 1.5 on 20, and so on and so forth. And Rod and I were doing some experiments the other day, and we were talking ground wave, but got on 15 and got it absolutely flat. And I talked more on 15 that night than I have in the last 30 years.
I was just going to say, Scott, that 40's been kind of noisy lately, so it's not you, man.
Some of those amps don't like the before the tuner. It throws the match off somehow or another, internally, especially solid state amps. But I would refer to the owner's manual to see how they recommend it, and also do the same thing with the tuner.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, I read through the manuals, tuner and amp, before I got started, just because I was afraid that I would damage something and ruin my investment. But yeah, the amp manual says to go radio, amp, then tuner, and I always got to remember to tune on low power, and then when I take that amp off standby, I got to remember to hit the power switch on the tuner to go back up to high power. And one thing I will not do next time is drink before I do that, because that might have had something to do with it, if I'm being really honest. It's K5OBD.
Well, I'm really curious about how well that amp performs. I've always had an eye on them, and if that's the 350 plus, that's supposed to do 350 with the carrier, and it should peak way above 350 on PEP. But that input thing, I would just try it on 5 and see what power you're developing. If you got any way, is the meter on the tuner what you're going by on power out?
Yeah, I can see my forward power out there. The meter's kind of small. And I got to get up there and squint. But yeah, I can, especially, the higher the power you get, the smaller the increments get. But yeah, I can see there's a watt meter on the tuner or on the amp, and then I can see the forward power on the SWR meter. For sure. Cat 5 OBD.
There's an output meter on the amp itself. Was it like a LED light?
Oh no, it's a analog meter with a needle, and it's just backlit.
That's cool. That's cool. I often wondered how well they perform, but I've got and 300 watts. I don't care, what people say. It's 3 times as much as you'd normally have. So dB-wise, ain't that much difference, but you'll see that you'll be able to get in and talk on all like regional bands, 80 and 40, as well as anybody running 1500. You may not be as big and bold as they are, but you'll cut through the mustard.
KG5, KVJ, K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Hey, don't pull a Jake and forget to close out NetLogger, man. You'll get a nasty email.
I haven't. I thought I could have sworn to Craig. Gosh, that I closed it. I stopped login. What else is there? There's not stop monitoring too.
Close.
Next, right?
To close the net. I don't remember what the button says, but you got to close it out. And yeah. They sent Jake a couple nasty emails because he let it run for like 2 days after the net.
I don't know. It's still showing up on the list because I can't. All I've got is the aim window, create net, select net. So hopefully it's closed now.
Huh. Okay. Well, maybe it's on my end. That's interesting. All right. Right on.
I might have jacked it up. Who knows?
Check it over here and see if it's still showing up on the net log.
To be honest, I've never seen it from my end like this, and so I had it running, and it just it never said close, so that's why I hollered, just to let you know, because Jake got a couple nasty emails from the guys like, close your nets, damn it! K5BZI.
Yeah.
It is not closed.
Well, Sammy Double was a little bit there and said he didn't look like it was closed on his end either, so I don't know.
It's not closed. Once you close it, it won't show up in the window for nets, and you won't be able to open it. If it does show it in that window, you won't be able to open it. But it's still showing it, and I opened it, and it's still live. Last one entered was Randy.
If I remember correctly from doing the nets, I think there's a big old button that says close net, like at the top somewhere.
You can X out of it even if you're running it and not close it.
I should totally take a screenshot of Garrett's freaking derp face on the video right now.
I found it.
All right, you owe me a beer for saving you the embarrassment of the NetLogger guy who's giving you a nasty email.
Appreciate it, man. Good looking out. Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, to go back to logging and then click the close net button. Not gonna lie, I'm still kind of peeved that I bought that subscription to QRZ and for whatever reason tonight it did not want to connect and my password hasn't changed, my call sign hasn't changed, so I don't know why it wasn't connecting. It was giving me some sort of error, so maybe I need to do an update or something like that to it. NetLogger. KG5, KVJ.
Yeah, it's nice to have it auto-populate with all the names and all that stuff. It's kind of nice because it helps you out with the names and it helps you out if you typed it in wrong, like if you type a call sign in and it's like somewhere in Maine, you typed it in wrong. Yeah. But you'll figure it out, dude. It's a learning process. K5BZI.
Yeah. No, I've got it mostly figured out, and I appreciate you and all your teaching. You've taught me a whole lot. I'm pretty ecstatic to be at this point in my life in the ham radio stuff to where I'm running a net, and there's no major complaints except for like the little minutia of the small details of NetLogger or however we want to run it. So it'll be interesting when Rusty and Rick get whatever they get set up for their logging for the club. KG5, KVJ here.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. That looks very promising. And by the way, Allie was sitting back on the couch tonight listening to the net. She's like, "Man, he sounds great." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's a rock star. He took him a couple of nets and he's got it under his belt. So it's good to have you, man. You sound great. Thank you so much for what you're doing, man. Appreciate it. We really do appreciate it."
When I was just checking in the net, I didn't realize, and people would say that thanks for running the net. It was a serious, heartfelt thing because I just to enjoy the net now. I'm not running it or anything like that. It's like, yeah, I totally understand that, and yeah, I'm glad to be a control operator here, and helping you all out to enjoy ham radio again. Because net control, other than not fun, it's just it's a responsibility, and it's sometimes fun to sit back and actually enjoy a net. KG5, KVJ.
Roger,
I
man.
appreciate anybody doing
guys like us
that
provide that service, and yeah, I'm with you, dude. It always feels good to hear those guys at the end say, "Hey, man, thanks, great net, yada yada yada." So I always try, whenever on the rare occasion when I check into the ET net, I always try to hang around to the end where I can say, "Hey, man, thanks for running the net, great net, blah blah blah," because it feels good. And it's hey, we've been doing this net now for how long, Sammy? And it's definitely a service to the community, and everybody loves it.
Well, since 2015, but Garrett, I was going to tell you, Ray appreciates anybody that does the net except for him.
Making me sound like a slacker, dude. Come on now.
Most valuable slacker net co-operator.
I thought that this whole club was nothing but slackers, there's an entire net here that's called the Slacker Net, so, I'm not surprised. KG5, KVJ.
Oh, I just think Ray enjoys it more when he's not doing it because he can do
80-meter antenna, KC3.
I have a question or comment on just about everything, which is okay in my book, if anybody cares.
Well, KC3 NAG, I think that you are still owed $20 or something like that for being such a late check-in.
Yeah. And if he shows up at Belton, I'll pay it.
Well, you know what I'm thinking? I think since Ray is the treasurer, it's kind of looking like the top end of some kind of scam. Because clearly you told me the net was over, and then you started to charge me because net logger was still on. So, I don't know. Back to y'all.
Hey, man, club got to make money somehow.
Hey, Ray, I got some gold panning sand I'll sell you cheap.
Hey, by the way, I'm still using those chlorine tablets for the toilet in my camper, by the way. Thanks for those.
You know, seriously, I think about that all the time because your hat in the bag is still, like, sitting up on the shelf over here. And I'm like, I wonder if I need to buy Ray another box. I mean, seriously, that cost me $50, man. So you better get some use out of them.
Oh, dude, they're working great. That's a great story. I always tell people that story about how you and I traded random Amazon gifts. So for those of you listening who don't know, I bought Randy a hat on Amazon randomly and sent it to his house, and it said, I pee in pools. And he randomly sent me a case of freaking chlorine tablets. And I've been using those chlorine tablets in my camper in the toilet. I break them in half and drop them in there, and they work pretty good, man. Thanks.
You're welcome, Ray. I'm always thinking about you. You're my friend.
Well, you've earned yourself a pee spot. If you want to come to Belton this weekend, you can come pee in the camper.
Yeah, okay. That would almost make it worth the trip, man.
You did say in the camper, not on the camper.
That's what I was thinking.
There's a specific place in the camper where I would like for you to pee, but yes.
Randy, if you want to ask for the cream of the crop, like, I want to poop in your camper, then you know you're in the real good crowd there. KG5, KVJ here.
Nobody dumps in my tent, man. There's no number 2 in the camper. That's illegal. That thing is way too small, man. It took me like a week to get all the old poop out of that thing when I bought it. No joke. There was like years of dried up poop in that tank. It took me a week to get rid of it.
You got all that septic tank and no poop to fill it with.
Dude, that tank is right behind the driver's seat, man. I don't want any caca in there. Nobody
Ray,
number
do
2
you
in
need
my
one of
camper,
those
dude. It's illegal.
outboard? It's a 30-gallon tank in case your tank gets too full, and you can dump it in this. But it's got all the connections and stuff on it too, and then you dump that into a dump spot.
Yeah, but it never gets all of it out, dude. There's always some leftover caca in there. I don't want any caca in my camper. There's a no caca
Regardless
camper.
of what's in there, I'm just saying, if you have a need for one, I do have one that I'm probably not going to be using, and it's on wheels, and it'll hold like 30 gallons, so if your tank gets too full when you're on a trip, you just fill that thing up, put the lids back on, and go on about your business until you get to a place to dump it.
I think you're missing a point here, my friend. There's no caca in the camper.
I said regardless of what waste material is in the tank, regardless, if it gets full, it's full.
And if it does, I'll just drop one of Randy's freaking tablets down there, and it just disintegrates everything, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, Ray just opens the valve and takes off down the highway. Like, there's no need for tanks or any other accessories.
Yeah, if you're driving behind me, I hope you got some windshield wiper fluid in your car.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan until you get stuck on 35 traffic.
It doesn't bother me.
Wheels on it. You can it's even got this little hook thing that you could hook it onto your trailer hitch in the back and pull it down to a dump. It's just for, if you're out camping somewhere and your tank gets full, then you use this, fill it up, then you can start all over.
You better take it, Ray. Sammy's giving you a deal.
Sounds like a doo-doo toe. I don't want a doo-doo toe.
It's even got a place where you can hook a water hose up to it and turn it on, and it's got this little washing system inside of it. While you're dumping it, you just turn that water on and cleans it all out.
Hey, Ray, put it in your shack, man. Come on.
Actually, that would make my wife very happy because the one thing she's always complained about my shack is there was no bathroom.
All right, there you have it. Sammy, hook him up, man.
Got a little toilet, camper toilet that will hold 5 gallons.
$5 gallons? Have you ever seen my wife's dookie?
I was still thinking, I thought we were talking about the other liquid form of waste material.
I'm not going to touch that one.
No, it's a no. Stop.
I was going to get raunchy. Wife cut me off.
It's probably a good deal.
I think you better take the offer, Ray.
Keep him straight, Allie.
I'm joking. I don't care. You can talk about my doo-doos or whatever word you use, my pee-pee and anything. I don't care.
My Lord.
Hey, how were the levels tonight when she did the news? Did it do better?
Sent you a message. When you start turning it up, you turn it up a little bit too much, and then you backed off a little bit, and it was fine.
Yeah, I figured out where the sweet spot was on the meters on my mixing board, and I got her just right.
I thought it was still a little bit hot. Even after you turn it down, it was still a little bit hot. But it was better than when you first turned it up. But yeah, KT5 gave it to you.
So, looking at the meters now, am I hot now?
You sound golden to me.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm bumping right up about. Okay. Noted. So next time she gets on, I'll keep an eye on it.
So, she's gonna get her own license at some point, so you have to sit there and jump in. Actually, was that introduction okay? Did I do an okay job with that? That's kind of a guess on my part.
No, you did just fine. It's my job to identify, right? And so you handed it off to us, and then I identified as the station ID, and then handed it off to her, and then when she was done, I identified again, and you took over, and so it's perfect, actually. But yeah.
Appreciate it. KG5, KVJ, back in that.
But yeah, one of these days, man, I'm gonna. So she said she'll get her license if my nephew gets his. So we're working on that. Yeah, see that guy in the red T-shirt on video? As soon as he gets his license, Allie says she'll get hers.
I don't know what he's waiting on. He's sitting there, cringing his face and doing all that stuff on the camera. You gotta, step up, man. There's no reason for it. Every day, an hour. Just an hour. It's not that hard. An hour, you're just like, you know what, I'm going to do an hour, and then you step away and you go do whatever the hell you're going to do for the rest of the night.
You should go back and look at the videos or the pictures from previous field days. I mean, this guy is a freaking field day machine. When he shows up at field day and he can operate under the club call sign, he's got it down. He just needs to pass that technician exam, and I already told him I've got a radio and I got an antenna waiting for him. He just needs to pass the test, and it's like I told him earlier, it's a numbers game. You just got to keep practicing and memorize all the questions and answers and just get it done.
It depends on how your mind works. I would say study material because there's actually good stuff in the material that you really do learn some serious awesome life stuff from. I think that you're wasting yourself if you can go to a field day and you absolutely destroy it. With a advanced amateur extra license. You're wasting yourself if you don't have at least a tech class at this point. You gotta really get on there, man. You're being foolish, and that's a sign of usefulness. You don't be useful too long. But KV5, KVJ here.
Yeah, one thing I'll say is that I know the hamexam.org website. I found that really useful when I was trying to cram for the test, and I think, like I mentioned before, I was able to go in, and it was basically because of my degree from 25 plus years ago. I was able to get the extra, go from technician all the way to extra in one go, but it wasn't really just all me. It was a lot of that hamexam.org. Just doing those practice tests really helped out. AI5HP.
So there you go. hamexam.org. Someone else chiming in. hamexam.org. Go check it out there.
A caveat with that too. I use that as a reference point. So when you're reading through the book and the material and you go take the practice exam, it's really cool to see your numbers bump up. Like you hit a threshold and then you keep studying more, and it's like boom, now you're over that threshold because you understand the material. But of course, you're on Discord. Just ask anybody any question about anything. Like, what's the theory behind this? And that's an important question to ask. What's the theory behind this? And then they'll explain it to you. There's plenty of people out there that'll explain the theory, and it'll help you understand it better. KG5, KVJ.
And by the way, for those of you who are listening and don't have, who are not joined us on the Discord video, my nephew Cody is who we're talking about, and he's on video with us, and he's listening through the stream online. So that's why I appreciate all the you guys chiming in. Hamexam.org, Cody, go check it out, man. Just keep practicing, and you'll get it done.
Hamstudy.org. I started with hamexam.org, but I switched over to hamstudy.org, which I liked better, and I got my technician and my general strictly doing nothing else but using that website. Going through the study mode and then occasionally taking a practice test, and taking the practice test until you consistently get 80, 85, whatever, until you're consistent above that pass line, and then when you're ready for the test. KI5OBD.
Roger. Thank you for that, man. Yeah, there you go. Ham Study, Ham Exam. Good. Both of them good websites. The technician class license exam is pretty easy. You just got to study for it for a couple weeks, get to know the questions, familiarize yourself with the material. Now, to be fair, look, I passed my novice license way back in the early 80s, mid-80s, not early, mid-80s. And, and I had some experience with electronics, so, and Cody does not have that experience. But, given some practice, he'll familiarize himself. The technician class license exam is not hard to pass. It's a time sink. You just got to dedicate yourself to it. You guys can, if you go to the N50AK website, you can go back to the pictures, and you'll find photos of Cody working late night, or me working late night with Cody passed out asleep next to me on field days in the past. But he's a machine, man. He's great during field days, and then he just told me that he's looking to come hang out with us for our next winter field day. So I'm looking forward to that out at Fred's place. So you guys will get a chance to meet my nephew out at winter field day this coming year, I hope.
Yeah, I want to reiterate what Garrett had said earlier, Ray. That was actually kind of instructive for me as well, having you intro, as a radio operator, intro Allie for her to do the news and to close it out. I had read about it, I had studied for it in the exam, like what we're talking about, but I never actually heard it done on the air, so that was good. Yeah, 5HP.
Oh yeah, Roger, man. It's pretty simple. You are the station control operator, and as long as you are there and identify yourself, it's legal for anyone to operate your station as long as the station control operator is present. And that's exactly how field day works, because we operate as a club during field day. So that's why it's open game for anyone to come in, and that's one of the points of field day, especially summer field day. Winter field day is not an ARRL sanctioned event. It's actually a club thing. It's a little bit different, but summer field day, the entire purpose of summer field day is to bring non-operators in and get them on the air. So they allow club call signs to be used, so that anyone who's even not an operator can come in and use the club call sign and get on the air experience. And so that's a good thing, in my opinion, in the ham radio thing. So yeah, thank you for that. K5BZI Friday.
Get on the air day, KC3 NAG.
Exactly.
Did y'all hear me check out when I was in the shack?
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, probably double with somebody, but I was trying to check out. Now I'm on the porch with All-Star N5TXR.
Hello, folks. AI5OS.
AI5OS, what's going on, brother? How you been, man? You didn't check in tonight.
No, I was downstairs. I was working on a couple things, and I took a nap and fell asleep, and now I'm kind of trying to get my stuff lined out to take to Belton.
Hey, you gonna come to Belton? We're gonna be out there Friday night and early Saturday morning. When are you planning on coming out there, Justin?
Well, I'm coming out Friday. I've got to take some things. I got to take a friend's amplifier back to him. I got to take a couple things I'm trying to get rid of. And then I'm going to come back Saturday morning.
Right on, man. Well, I'm gonna have my camper out there with a couple tables and some stuff that the club's trying to get rid of, and so by all means, man, try to seek us out. We'll be out there in the parking lot. I'll have my camper out there, so whoever you're with, tell them to look out for. I'll have a banner out for the club, so tell them to look for an N50AK banner.
Okay, yeah. I'm just curious, what kind of stuff does the club have they're trying to get rid of?
We've done some silent key tower takedowns and acquired some gear in the meantime, and so we've got some leftover stuff. I've got a couple of old tube voltmeters and just some other random stuff and connectors and boxes of connectors and things like that, you know.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to pick up my amplifier, taking a friend's back to him, and I'm picking up a set of Drake's, a Drake Beeline station I had bought that guy's delivering to Belton. So, I'm doing that and, seeing what else I can come up with.
Okay, roger that, man. Well, we hope to see you out there, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, I am curious, in your club takedown of stuff, have any of y'all run across an automated tuner, an auto tuner at all?
I have not.
Okay. No, I wasn't sure. I don't mind tuning this stuff, but I've got a Dentron, I've got a Heathkit 2060 Alpha, and I have a MFJ 989, and wasn't sure. I'm looking for, I'm not sure if this will be the place to find it, I'm looking for a tilt-over mount. Because I'm going to try to, I've got so much freaking telescoping mast here that I've accumulated. I'm like, well, not telescoping mast, but so much mast in general, aside from the tower stuff, that I'd like to find a way to get, some kind of a pole I can raise up and lower down and put an antenna on, if I need to.
All right, roger that, man. Yeah, I've got some things I'm looking forward to seeking out when we get there as well.
Nice. Anything I can keep my eye on for you? Because I'll be there around noon Friday, and like I said, I don't know how late I'm staying. I'd love to stay the whole night and just stay over, but I didn't know my schedule would change in such that I would actually have the time to do it. But if there's something you're looking for, because I'll run around there tomorrow afternoon, I'll get there about noon, I can certainly keep an eye out.
I need a dynamotor that is large enough to run an ART-13.
Alrighty, and what's an ART-13?
It's the old Army Signal Corps World War II era transmitter that was in the B-29, B-17s. The dynamotor is the dynamotor that ran that radio, and I've got one, but it's got a bad winding in it, and I could sure use another one for parts.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'll certainly see if I can find one. If I can find one, because I'll be looking around, looking at some old stuff. I love this old tube-type gear.
Roger. Well, I'll be there, so come find us.
Oh yeah, damn Skippy, will do.
This is KG5, KVG. I think I'm going to be done for the evening here and just wrap up and make some food or something and hit the Sakaruski. Some bid you off 73s, KG5, KVJ.
Night, Garrett. K5BZI, man. Good to have you. Great net, man. Really enjoyed it. You are a rock star, freaking top notch.
Always glad I can take a load off there.
Hey, Garrett, how's fatherhood treating you?
Not bad. Don't want to get into it super deep because I'm trying to, boot scoot out of here, but not bad at all. Better than most people, I would suppose, or some people. The kid's super happy. So that's all I got. KG5, KVJ.
Roger. AI5OS.
AI5OS, why didn't you check into the net? I'm just going to, chew on you for a little bit.
He was napping.
I was taking a nap. No, I should have checked into the net. You were right, and that's it is on me.
Hurt my numbers. Anyway, 73s. KG5, KVJ, I'm going to be clear.
King. Oops, that was an ugly double. 73's Garrett. Other station, go ahead.
I was going to say, what was it? 73s. I forgot what the heck I said. But 73s, man. Good night.
Good night. I'm sorry, I feel like I may have gate crashed something.
No, not at all, man. We were just chatting.
Not at all, man. KC3, NAG. Just lurking.
Is that Randy, by the way?
Indeed it is. Your voice sounds very familiar.
Oh, yeah. No, this is Justin, AI5OS. I've checked into a couple of nets that you've had going and everything else. So, yeah. We've met before.
Oh, yeah. I recognize your name now, man.
Absolutely.
Well, Ray, if you're still hanging around for a minute, I have a small update on my brother's interference issues.
Do tell.
Well, so I started making a list, and I figured there was 80 variables, could be this, could be that, whatever. And started running down through stuff, and it's like, I'm like, and you've been around the house with like a portable AM radio and, make sure it's not inside. And he goes, oh, I don't have one. I'm like, what? Yeah, so you gotta know my brother. I mean, he's smart, but yeah. Anyway, back to the radio station thing. So he goes outside. He walks 200 feet down the street. I mean, he just moved there, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. And lo and behold, there's a radio station. Let me let it drop for a sec. So the story is, it's like all these small towns in kind of a mountainous area. Every town has its own AM broadcast station. And they've been bought and sold, and this one guy had bought all 5 up, but it appears like there's nothing going on right next door. But I'm like, well, so where's the antenna man? He goes, I don't know. So, but anyway, I believe what we've tracked this down to was a Christian shortwave broadcast station on 20 meters. That's got to be within like a couple miles of him. Anyway, he saw this guy who's got an inverted V, a couple 3 miles away from him. I'm like, go talk to that guy because he probably knows where the noise is coming from. So That's all I know at this moment, man. Back to you.
Wait, so where is he again?
Well, he's in New York State, like north of Albany. Probably an hour or two more north of Albany. Albany is like kind of like middle going up north south, that kind of area.
Yeah, there's a big freaking shortwave station in Tennessee, and that could be interfering with him.
Yeah, well, anyway, he used to live down near the New York-Pennsylvania border where we grew up, and he did not have these problems. And he moved, and, he showed me screenshots of his, SDR, and it's just like this cloud all over the screen. It's crazy, man.
Well, if he's in northern New York, he's probably getting shortwave stations from across the pond and all kinds of stuff. So, those guys up there, they get all the good DX. So, he's in prime location. If he gets a nice HF station going, he can be working all over the place, man.
Yeah, well, I understand what you're saying there, but if he's on 20 meters during the day, like on the weekend, there's the whole entire legal ban for us is just completely wiped out. He hears nothing at all. And then a little bit after sundown or so, it goes away. So somebody's powering down something someplace. So I don't know. I need more information, and getting information on my brother takes hours. So should be 10 minutes, but whatever. Back to you.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, you'll get him straightened out one of these days.
Yeah, and you realize this is all your fault because he was listening in to the Oak Hill Net.
By the way, why is he not listening in anymore? He should keep listening in. I haven't heard him in a while. K5BZI for ID, by the way.
I don't know. He's been busy. He sold his house. He moved way back up north. He lived up there anyway. It's actually very near where his engineering headquarters is, and they actually pay him. So it's a nice area. And he's been busy, and his daughter's a lawyer, and she got married. I think he has 2 or 3 hours to himself, midnight Saturday night, something like that, if you know what I mean.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. There's always an excuse. Always. My nephew is the king of excuses.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But speaking of him, they're doing, in-house classes now, every odd month. One of the radio clubs are doing it here. And it's kind of local, sort of, in the city. So, if you kind of put a deadline on something, maybe there's a little more pressure to make it happen.
So, I'm using this conversation as an excuse to give my nephew a hard time. Yeah, man. We've been talking about your brother for a year, maybe 2 years now. And so if my nephew gets his license before your brother does, then win-win for him.
Yeah, well, my brother did both his tech and general license 6 weeks after you and I had a conversation of getting him a license and whatnot. And, he banged through that. And I told him, it's hey, do the study for the tech, but, read through general stuff because we passed the tech. They give you the general test for free, man. And as long as you study some of the digital stuff and that kind of things, but I have no idea what it is, so I definitely had to study. You could bang both those licenses out in one day.
That's right. But baby steps, man. If my nephew gets his tag license, I'll be happy. So, we'll get there. But hey, man, get your brother to download the Echolink app and have him jump into the nets again, and let's hear from him. He's got his license, right? So if he has his license, he can get the Echolink app and sign in.
Oh, totally. It's just a matter of making him, do it, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, but, I'm curious where his huge interference thing comes in. So that's Project 1. Project 2, he needs an antenna outside his building. So, yeah, baby steps is very true, Ray.
That's right. Baby steps, and get him on Echolink. Tell him to join the nest on Thursday nights. Just tell him, say, hey, look, man. I know you got interference problems, but if you get on Echolink on your phone, just sign in on Echolink. You've got a call sign, so you can get an Echolink app, and join us on Thursday nights. Just join us on Thursday nights. Just chit chat with us on Thursday nights. And maybe that'll build the fire under him a little bit there. K5BZI.
Yeah, I see what you're saying from that point of view, because, that's really what kind of got it started. He actually was listening to your online, thingy while the net was going from your website there, but, and he knows how to do Echolink, but, yeah, they would give him an opportunity to, send a signal more than, 20 miles. And actually engage in some radio conversation. So, yeah, Ray, that's a great idea. I'm going to bring that up to him next time. KC3 and AG.
I'm sorry, I'm clicking. Sorry, everybody, but he may be experiencing that. He may have a radio actually, and be experiencing that his local traffic is boring, and that makes sense. It happens, right? So tell him to get on Echolink. And he might want to go through the K5 TMT system actually to join us on Thursday nights, because Matt's system is a little bit more reliable than our Echolink system. So K5 TMT, tell him to join that on Echolink on Thursday nights and join us. And he'll find that there are cool people, on ham radio, because he might be discouraged because his local traffic is boring, and that's not uncommon, right?
Yeah, I have a question for the two of you, since you're here.
Go ahead.
Since it is now getting cool, and everything, can I maybe get some help, or what would it take? Could I get some peer pressure to get some help to me to get some antenna work done, and maybe get a little put some certain tower sections to use in my shed?
All right, I'm bringing up my calendar right now. All right, let's see, Justin, I am booked up for, at least the next 3 weeks. Hang on just 1 second. Do you have any, that's Halloween weekend. Let's see. What do you got planned for the first weekend in November, Justin?
First weekend in November, I don't have anything planned. None that I'm aware of right now.
Okay, Saturday, November the 5th. I can come help you out.
Okay. Anyway, we could, because I'm figuring it'd be probably best to get multiple folks to come. I'd like to try to maybe see what it's going to involve sinking that tower. in the ground, as it were.
Yep, and that's far enough away where I can rally some troops, and we'll get together and come over and help you out with that. So I'm going to put it on my calendar now for Saturday, November 5, and in the meantime, we'll put together a group and come over and help you out with that. Will that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine for me. I mean, I'm assuming this isn't going to be something that it's, this is not something you can put up in a day, right?
No, I think we can.
As in, we can get the tower up and the hex beam and get the tower up or in the ground and get maybe a hex beam or antenna on the top of it?
We can certainly get the tower up, but we're going to have to sink it in the ground, and the cement will have to cure for a day or two. So, yeah, no, it'll be a tower install day.
Gotcha. Okay, because I've got a crap ton of mast. That's for sure. I was just trying to figure out, do I need to look for anything in between now and then to make things easier?
Well, we'll need to get some cement. Other than that, you got the tower sections already, right? Yeah, I know you do.
I've got the tower sections, plus I've also got, I think between then and now, I have probably accumulated about at least 60 feet of mast as well.
Okay. So, and I know you've got a lot of feed line and all that stuff already, but the truth is, though, Justin, that tower, we're going to have to sink it in the ground, put some cement around it, and let it cure for a couple days. Maybe the next weekend. I've got nothing for the rest of November on my calendar, but we can schedule the tower installation, dig the hole, sink the tower sections down, and build the tower up that day, probably. Anyway, we'll sink the base of the tower that day. That'll be a good starting day. So November 5, if that works for you, I will talk to some folks and see if we can't get a crew out there to get your tower going.
Okay, yeah, no, that would be, just get the basis, just to get it sank. I'm certainly not expecting, I couldn't imagine we could get that whole thing up in a day, but just to get it down, get the cement curing on the base, and then, I figure once that's cured, stacking the rest of it's pretty easy with a gin pole or something, right?
Well, easy is a relative word, but yes, once we get the base cured, another day we'll get the tower built, and in that same day it's possible to get an antenna or two on it. Yes.
Yep, that's what I figured. So I should probably get a bunch of coax. I should probably try to get, I don't know, how many feet of LMR 400 should I probably get, you reckon?
So what do you have? You had a pretty decent installation at your previous location. Do you have all that feed line from your previous house?
Oh yeah, I've got all that. I've got, let's see, I've got the, and I don't really need to worry about the stuff on the roof is not like it has to go over there. If it gets it up higher, nice, all the better. It can certainly go over there. What I'm looking to try to do is to get the tower up. I want to get the hex beam on it, and be able to have some room to either get some. I might get another vertical up there as well, or it'll be A good place to run some dipoles there, as it were, off the top of that thing.
That's very true. Let us get that base sunk in the ground and cemented in and stabilized, and then we'll take a look at what feed line you have, and then go from there. I mean, like I say, once the base is in and solidified, then the following weekend we can build the tower up and put what we can, given what you have, and then we can tell you what you need to get the rest out up there.
I mean, my goal, well, and what I'll do between now and then is see if I can get some help, because you remember that hex beam you all took down and got for me. I mean, you should probably try to, I gave that vertical that, I bought from you a while ago. I gave that to James, KI5TUF, for all the work he's been doing, or he has done to help. But I gave the vertical to him. So what I'm thinking I will do is, between now and then, is I will try to at least get that hex beam on that vertical mount, just to say, yep, it works, or no, it doesn't.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But we got to get that tower base solidified first, and so I've got it on my calendar now for the 5th of November, and we'll get that thing sunk in, and then we kind of have to go from there. I mean, we really need to let that tower base cure. Get it in the ground, let it cure, and then build it up from there. So maybe the weekend after or the weekend after that. So I'm thinking the month of November will probably be your tower building month this year.
Okay, yeah, and that's fine. I mean, like I said, I know we need to get the tower in and everything else if that's going to happen. I'm just saying, hey, look, should I at least try to get that hex beam put together, get it on this? I mean, it's essentially a 4-foot piece of pipe stuck out of that concrete bucket, and just get it on there just to say, yep, hex beam works. Nope, hex beam doesn't work. Kind of a thing. It just kind of gives an idea as to what we're all dealing with here. Because I've got a rotor, I've got 150 feet of rotor cable, and all that good stuff too to contend with. So just trying to figure out, what does work, what doesn't work, and I don't expect this to, because if we're going to be dealing with cement, I certainly wouldn't expect us to be able to chunk that down and that stuff be cured in an hour, because it's going to take a good 100 pounds? No, more than that. Probably a ton of cement in that hole?
Well, you've got 40 feet of tower, right? So that's pretty much what I have, and I've got about 80 pounds. I mean, with guys, it doesn't take a whole lot, so I think it'll be all right. And we can work it out. So I mean, we just need to kind of come see what you got there and make plans from that point. It's hard to estimate without being there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that totally makes complete sense, right? Just to see what I got and see what's going on, because, good Lord, I am not antenna 4 anymore. I mean, I've got the end-fed rocking. That's doing good. I've got 2 dipoles up. I've got, the hex beam that's in the shed, and I've got, between now and then I may put up a loop, an 80-meter loop. I'm just trying to get made just because I've always wanted to get a loop up. And then I've got, this silly, and a guy was giving it away. And he ended up getting a 160-meter bazooka Devil Bazooka. I don't know how in the hell I'd be able to get that thing strung up. But it's here, because I figure, you can never have too many antennas. You never know when you might find a use case for them.
Yeah, I'm thinking we dig about a 4-foot hole, put the base of that tower, those tower sections that you have down into it, put about 8 or 9 80-pound bags of cement around it, and let that cure, and then come back a week later and build the tower up with some guys, and I think that'll support what you've got with that hex beam. And once we have the tower up, then you can do whatever the heck you want. Then we can play with the hex beam a little bit and figure out how it works and all that stuff, and go from there. The first point, I think, is getting the tower up, and then we can go from there with it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, if it's that, that doesn't sound difficult at all. I'm trying to figure out where to put it in my yard, actually. As to where it should go, because it may not be around the back at all since I've got that tree. I'm fortunate that, my neighbors know that's going up, and they're, sure, go for it. I have really cool neighbors.
Well, my tower goes up through a freaking cluster of trees. Like, when I climb it, I have to dodge branches all the way up, so I think we can work around the trees.
Nice. Okay, cool. If we can do that, then that's fine by me.
All right. Well, I got you on the calendar for, like I said, November. I think it was November 5th. I think it was. Scrolling down here. Yeah, I'll be in touch with you there, Justin, and we'll come make that happen for you.
Okay. So I need to buy about. I probably need to buy about 10 80-pound bags of cement, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds about right, but... Yeah, that sounds about right. And if there's anything we don't use, we can return them.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious, what is 80 pounds, what does concrete usually cost?
I have no idea. Let's take a look and see. Hang on.
Or maybe the more proper question is, okay, if I'm going to do this, what kind of concrete should I buy?
So the Home Depot has concrete mix, 80-pound bags for $5 a bag.
Oh, wow. That's nothing what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I sunk my tower about 3 feet in the ground. Now, granted, it's mounted to my shed. It's mounted to a building. But I put 8 bags in. And if we put about 10 bags down with yours and then guy it, I think you'll be fine.
Okay, yeah. And how tall is your shed?
Well, the mounting bracket is about 3 feet up, maybe 4. Let's say 4 feet up. So it's 8 pounds in the ground, 3 feet down, 8 pounds or 8 bags, I should say, which is 8 times 80 pounds. So that's 100. 8 times 8. Anyway, I'm drinking, but anyway. So it's about 3 feet in the ground with 8 80-pound bags of concrete, and then it's mounted to the shed about 4 feet up, and then it's a 50-foot tower on top of that.
No, and right. No, I get that. 50 feet in the air is not a problem. I wouldn't complain. I'm just curious because I have a shed in my backyard too, so that's what I was just trying to figure out as a frame of reference how tall your shed was, to figure out whether I should guide at the house or on the shed.
Oh, you mean the guys? The guys can go anywhere. The guys are really just to keep it from swaying. You know, you don't want to move too much if someone's climbing it. They don't have to be real strong. I mean, it's just to keep it from kind of leaning too much. You know what I'm saying? So I like one of my guys is tied up to my fence. Actually, two of my guys are tied up to my fence, and the third guy is tied up to my house.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. All righty. Well, that makes sense.
I mean, if you're only going up, I mean, you've got 40 feet of tower, right? You're only going up feet?
Yeah, I may only go up 40 feet. If I found another, couple more, 2 more 10-foot sections, that'd be hard-pressed not to put them on there, but, yeah, right now, it's only 40 feet.
Yeah, I mean, if you guide it at 40 feet, the guy point at 40 feet is the important part, and the upper section, like, let's say you put another 10-foot section on it and went 50, the guys would be at 40, and you'd be stable. I mean, I don't know. In my experience, that's pretty dadgum stable. I mean, I climb my 50-foot tower all the time, and it's guide up to a fence post. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. No, I hear you. I'm thinking it'd be fun to put like a 40-meter beam on the top, have the hex beam, and because I've got a Yaesu G800 rotor, so apparently that's a pretty heavy-duty rotor. It'll turn almost anything.
Yeah, I've got one of those on mine too.
That'd be fun to have have that hex beam up and a 40-meter beam on it, but that may be maybe that's a little too much there. But at the very least, there's not a whole lot of antennas that you couldn't string off that thing.
Well, I got a GP90 and a 6-meter beam and a 2-meter beam and a 900 megahertz Yagi and a 40-meter an 80-meter dipole hanging off the top of my 50-foot tower that is bolted to my shed at 3 feet with a 3-foot base with about 300 pounds of cement on it, and it does just fine. So, all right. So I've got you on November 5. We're going to come out and take a look at your place and dig a big hole and put the base of your tower in it, and then put about, maybe somewhere around 800 pounds of concrete around it, and then we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Oh, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. Absolutely.
All right.
Meanwhile, I should make sure that we have a brisket for that day so that we've got some brisket and pulled pork.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I figure people are going to come out and do this. This is something I can't do independently, so I would obviously need some help. So I'm quite happy to, least I can do is provide some food.
Well, all right, man. I'll spread the word this weekend at Belton. I got some fellow tower climbers coming to hang out with me at Belton this weekend. So, and I hope to see you out there, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, you'll see me. I gotta go pick up the crap I bought. Gotta get my amp home, get that drag system, that drag station I got home, and an old Kenwood 520. So. Yeah, I gotta go pick up some stuff.
All right, man. Sounds good, dude. Well, I got you on the calendar, so we'll make it happen.
Well, sweet. I do appreciate it.
All right. Well, I gotta go get the camper ready for tomorrow night, so I'm gonna call it. K5BZI, a great night, and what a great net, and if anyone's still lurking, 73 is all, and I'll catch you later. K5BZI clear.
KC3, NAG, lurking, 7-3s.
7-3s, y'all. AI-508.